clubs of old, but we've moved on from there, and I think so. Yeah, I think he's right up there with Alex Ferguson as the best manager, and what team he's got. And it doesn't matter who he plays. If he rests one and someone else comes in, they're so strong, and you sort of forget about them because they're the elite of this division, and Liverpool are doing all they can to hang on to them.
A couple of big results down at the bottom of the table. Everton 3-0 winners against Leeds United at Goodison Park. They're now 5 points clear of Norwich. A step in the right direction for Frank Lampard after what was a pretty difficult midweek against Newcastle at St James's Park.
Yes, I think to go up to Newcastle for his first Premier League game, it was going to be a difficult game. Newcastle signed some good players. Obviously, the crowd get right behind Newcastle. It was always going to be a difficult game, but that yesterday was a great result, and I think he's a great fit for Everton. They have got money to spend, which I'm sure they will do in the summer, and I think Frank Lampard will go in there and he'll put his stamp on the team. I thought he did really well at Chelsea, Frank Lampard. He didn't have much money to spend in his first season, and he got sacked because Chelsea are Chelsea, aren't they? They went on to win the Champions League that season. I think he'll do very well at Everton. I think he's going to be a really good manager. I've heard good things about him, the way his man management is. I think he speaks really well, and he's obviously got respect for players, so I think he's a really good fit for Everton. So look, let's stay in the division for Everton this season, but next season I think they'll be strong.
Nice touch in the Watford-Brighton game. The Brighton manager Graham Potter wearing suit, shirt and tie as a mark of respect, he says, to his opposite number Roy Hodgson, and Hodgson returned the favour by giving Brighton 3 points. They're 3 points adrift now, Watford, and no obvious signs of a change in fortune since Hodgson came in.
No, look, Hodgson's been a great manager and he's got bags of experience, but they don't look good enough, do they? And I watched the Burnley Watford game the other day, and those two teams look bang in trouble, and obviously they're both down the bottom of the league, so it's obvious, but there doesn't look a spark there's there, and they don't keep enough clean sheets. I think the only one that I can see really getting out of that bottom three is Norwich, and I hate to say that because obviously the Burnley connection, but I think Watford and Burnley are real in trouble this season.
The one game that we haven't touched upon was Brentford against Crystal Palace. It finished Brentford 0, Crystal Palace 0. Enough said. Let's move on to the team news from the other two matches kicking off at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Burnley against Liverpool is our main base. Aaron Lennon in for Burnley at the expense of Dwight McNeil. Mane and Salah both start for Liverpool. What about the big game at St James's Park? Can Newcastle make it back-to-back wins in the Premier League? Aston Villa are their visitors. Your match commentator for that one is Tim Long.
Progressive managers, exciting new signings and positive recent results. Descriptive of both teams at St James's today, but no doubt the pressure is on Newcastle. The Magpies have won back-to-back league games for the first time all season, but are still just 1 point above the bottom three. Villa, on their first three-game unbeaten run of the campaign, sits safely in mid-table. No surprise then that the only changes for both teams today are enforced. For the hosts, Eddie Howe has to make 2 changes from their 3-1 win here against Everton on Tuesday. Jamal Lascelles is unwell, so there's a dream debut for boyhood Magpies fan Dan Burn at centre-back after his January move, and Matt Targett ineligible to play against his parent club, so Javi Manquillo comes in at left-back. For Villa, Steven Gerrard makes just 1 change to the lineup that drew 3-3 with Leeds on Wednesday. Konza suspended after his sending off, so Callum Chambers starts at centre-back. Newcastle unbeaten in their last 12 Premier League games against Villa on Tyneside, while league leaders Manchester City, the only visiting team to beat Eddie Howe's side here since he took charge. They'll hope their Toon army of over 52,000 can make the difference again today.
Yeah, sure to be a rip-roaring atmosphere up on the North East. Let's hot-foot it down to the capital, though. Tottenham against Wolves. Spurs looking to bounce back from a demoralising defeat at home to Southampton in the week. Toby Gillis will be watching this one.
Both these two will have been looking up in recent weeks, but have had progress frustratingly halted. Spurs lost for the first time at home under Antonio Conte in the Premier League against Southampton in midweek. Lucas Moura said he was very 3 in total. Both wing-backs are changed. Ryan Sessegnon and Matt Doherty come in. The ex-Wolves man getting just a second start of the season. And there's a full debut in central midfield for Rodrigo Bentancur. Interesting that he replaces usual enforcer Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Wolves' defeat to Arsenal in midweek may have been tough to take for a number of reasons. possessions, but they still find goals hard to come by. So a little shift for Bruno Lage in tactics to a front two. João Moutinho is still unavailable, so he's brought Luke Kundle, the 19-year-old, in for his first Premier League start, with Trincao dropping to the bench. Ryan Aït-Nouri replaces Marçal on the left, so Daniel Podence will be pushed central alongside Raúl Jiménez. It's Spurs again.
Big game for Spurs, that. They have games in hand, as Michael Kiteley has already mentioned, of the likes of Manchester United, West Ham and even Chelsea ahead of them, but they need to start putting wins on the board after 2 successive defeats damage their hopes of a top 4 finish. We'll keep you updated with the goals as they go in from both of those games throughout the course of the afternoon. Turf Moor is our base as Liverpool in second travel to rock bottom Burnley. Let's hear from the 2 managers, Reds boss Jurgen Klopp and his Burnley counterpart Sean Dyche.
You've got to stay tuned in all the time. You know, they offer a threat in a different style, but kind of as clinical in some ways as Man City, in a different format, different style. But they're a really, really strong outfit. We know that. You have to play well. You have to deliver. Certainly, your defensive framework has to be good. And you need big performances.
The thing they need to do and have to do, they know that better than I do, to stay in the league. And there's a massive chance for me. I know it's always sounds like when you are in February, I'm not sure, bottom of the table, then nobody cares anymore about the games you have in hand. And it doesn't make the situation easier, but there's a big possibility for them still to stay in because of the power they can produce as a team. And so we have to be ready. That will be a tough one, definitely.
I've not been surprised by him settling in. I mean, most players we have here settle in because the group are very open. There's a nice balance to the mentality here, so I'm not surprised at that. He's incredibly professional in his way and his will to learn and the knowledge he wants to pick up. Very flexible in his thinking on style, because he's actually technically a very good player, but he knows at times we have to try and hit it up to him and he has to get hold of it for us and maintain possession. He's done that very well in his first couple of games. So, you know, I mean, there's more to come from him, but I think he's offered a lot already.
It was probably one of the best I ever saw from a new player. That's true, because it looked completely natural, but it's only a first game, and we have to see how he will adapt to all the different stuff, to the intensity and all these kind of things. Now, in the Premier League, there's no rush in it still. Last night was a very good opportunity to start him because of Sadio not being here yet, and Mo coming back from an incredibly intense tournament, and it was then a really good moment, and yeah, he showed up.
That was Sean Dyche and Jurgen Klopp looking ahead to Burnley against Liverpool. Kick-off rapidly approaching in the rain at Turf Moor. Jurgen Klopp, Michael Kiteley, also said that he believes Sean Dyche keeping Burnley in the Premier League for 6 successive seasons is, quotes, as good as winning the title. He says no other manager could have achieved that feat. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I think what he's done at Burnley has been unbelievable. You know, they've not spent hardly any money. You know, you look at the window just gone there. They got rid of Chris Wood for 25 million and bought in Weghorst, and they actually made money. You know, not only is he delivering for Burnley on the pitch with results and keeping them in the league week in, week out, he's saving them money every year, which is frightening, really. But I do feel that they're going to come up short this season. I say it every year, to be honest. I don't want them to go down because obviously my connection, you know, made a lot of good friends there, but you can't keep doing that year in, year out, and I think this season they're going to come unstuck.
And just quickly on Liverpool, you were saying to me off air that you maybe didn't realise how good a season they're having before you really looked into the bare statistics. They're scoring goals for fun. They've only lost one of their last 12 in the Premier League. Unbeaten in their last 103 Premier League games, when ahead at half time. So if they get in front, they're hard to peg back. The fact they're 12 points behind Manchester City, I guess says more about Pep Guardiola's team than it does about Liverpool. They've only lost 2 games all season. They can't really have done much more.
No, they couldn't, and it sounds stupid, didn't it? I said that they've sort of gone under the radar, but because Man City are so good and just relentless week in, week out, just winning games comfortably, you sort of forget about how well Liverpool have done. So, yeah, they're doing really well this season.
Well, will they keep that run going this afternoon? Kick-off is upon us. The 2 teams ready to emerge from the tunnel. Although given the conditions, they'll probably wait as long as possible. It's a must-win for both these teams. Burnley in 20th place against Liverpool in 2nd. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport Hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
Then improving week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport Hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Talk Sport. 20 years old and still not able to make a cup of tea.
That's a great starting point, I think. Excuse me.
With bitter experience comes great responsibility.
Let's go to Cumbria and Fraser. Fraser, good morning. Hello. Fraser, get out of that league.
The nation's first and best commercial sports radio station.
Live, lubricated and legendary.
20 years of Talk Sport. Previously on White and Jordan.
This is rewarding mediocrity.
No. It's not. It's the exact opposite.
Two towering giants of sports media.
He's got COVID-19. He's got Newcastle wanting to sue him. He's got broadcasters pulling money out of deals left, right, and centre. You wouldn't want to fly with this guy, would you?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Double trouble, daily drama, and searing debate.
Continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
Previously on White and Jordan.
If you haven't bought, owned, managed, sold a player, managed a football club, sat in a boardroom, sat in a dressing room, what exactly do you know?
100% engagement.
The Football League is a league which is a busted flush.
You're obsessed with that subject. You do know that.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. High Octane Radio. Continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
The Women's Football Weekly Podcast.
With Faye Carruthers. All the action, excitement and drama from across the entire women's game.
Clean off the line by Steph Horton.
Including the Women's Super League.
And the price is dead. It's up it is.
The UEFA Women's Champions League.
Lana Clellan striking from outside the penalty area.
And the Euro 2021 qualifiers.
On the edge of the area to Emsley. And Emsley's going to finish it off.
Plus, all the home nations' international friendlies.
Lucy Bronze with the strike from the edge of the penalty area.
World-beating big match conversation.
There's Jodie Taylor.
Subscribe now to the Women's Football Weekly Podcast on Acast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Burnley against Liverpool from Turf Moor. I'm your host, Alex Crook. Alongside me, the former Burnley winger, Michael Kitely. This is Premier League Live on a dank and dreary afternoon. And the storm clouds overhead really echoing the mood of Burnley fans coming into what is a huge game at both the top and bottom of the Premier League. The Clarets in 20th place, 4 points adrift of survival, albeit with games in hand over those above them. Liverpool's outlook is sunnier, although they do trail Manchester City, the champions, by 12 points. They have 2 games in hand and still have to play Pep Guardiola's men. Jurgen Klopp refusing at this stage to admit the title is out of their reach. In terms of the team news, one alteration for Burnley from the side that came from behind to hold Manchester United to a draw here in midweek. Aaron Lennon is in for his 400th Premier League appearance, only the 40th player to reach that milestone. Dwight McNeil dropped to the bench. It means the Clarets will line up with Pope in goal, Roberts, Tarkowski, Mee and Peters in a back four, Lennon and Cornet out wide, with Brownhill and Westwood in midfield. Wout Weghorst, who had such an impact against Harry Maguire in the week, is alongside Jay Rodriguez up front. It's the news that Burnley fans wouldn't have been hoping for as far as Liverpool are concerned. Sadio Mane and Mo Salah having faced off in the African Cup of Nations final, both restored to the starting lineup. Naby Keita and Jordan Henderson also come into the team. Somewhat surprisingly, Diogo Jota is amongst those dropping out. Alisson the goalkeeper, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson in defence. Fabinho, Keita and Henderson in the midfield, with Mane, Firmino Firmino and Salah reunited up front. The two benches for you for Burnley. Wayne Hennessy is the backup goalkeeper. Lowton, Cork, Barnes, McNeil, Stevens, Collins, Bardsley and Long. Liverpool have Kelleher as their reserve keeper. Canate, Thiago, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, the informed Jota, Tsimikas, Luis Diaz, the big money addition in January, and Harvey Elliott completing that Liverpool bench. The referee is Martin Atkinson, with Darren England watching on VAR. A handshake between the two managers, Jurgen Klopp. Plenty of respect for his opposite number, Sean Dyche, before kick-off, but it will be game face on as far as Liverpool are concerned. They've lost only 2 of their last 45 matches in all competitions. Compare that to Burnley, who've won only 1 of their last 23 Premier League outings. That was a victory against Brentford back in October. Something needs to change for the Clarets. Well, they will be returning to the Championship after 6 years in the top flight. The first whistle is a signal for both sets of players to take a knee. And we will be off and underway. They've kicked off at St James's Park and at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Goals they go in. Newcastle against Villa, Tottenham against Wolves. But it's Liverpool in their cream jerseys, black shorts and cream socks, shooting from right to left to get us underway here at Turf Moor. Burnley in their usual claret shirts with the sky blue sleeves and sky blue shorts and socks, attacking the goal away to our right. Looking for only their second victory, Burnley, in the last 11 meetings between these two near neighbours. Robertson in the left back position hoists the ball towards the halfway line for Liverpool. Henderson playing it forward towards Sadio Mane, but Nick Pope, all in green, clears into the stand on this near side. And it's an opportunity to say a very good afternoon to the former Burnley and Wolves wide man, Michael Kitely.
Yeah, good afternoon. Burnley will be looking for a much stronger start. It's what they showed against Man United, because I believe they do that against Liverpool. And Liverpool will blow them away in this first half. So got to start well, Burnley. If they're going to get anything from this game, they can't be sloppy from the off.
Yeah, they gave Manchester United a 1-0 head start in midweek. You sense they can't really afford to do that against a team with the talent of Liverpool. The Reds have won each of their last 4 visits to Turf Moor.
These conditions as well, you'd think they suit Burnley. You know, it's very windy. They like to, get amongst their opposition, get in their faces, and I think this will help them with the condition.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp actually saying at his press conference this week that this is the one fixture every season that he doesn't particularly look forward to. As Burnley play the ball long, they were appealing for a corner. I think goal kick is the decision. James Tarkowski with a punt upfield. Both him and Ben Mee, the two Burnley centre-back, out of contract at the end of the season. Probably unlikely that either will remain.
Yeah, just as you wouldn't think they had enough problems at the minute to have them two out of contract in the summer. Big problem to fill there next season if they both leave.
Whatever division they're in. Fabinho watches the ball out for a throw-in down by the corner flag, put under pressure by Maxwell Cornet. He's made quite the impact, Cornet, since signing in the summer. 6 Premier League goals to his name. Burnley's leading scorer in the competition, 5 in his last 9 appearances. Does have a habit, though, of picking up niggly injuries. They need him to stay as fit as possible if they are to stand any realistic chance, you feel, of beating the drop. Here is Alexander-Arnold forward to Henderson. 3 minutes played, 0-0 on Premier League Live. Salah into Firmino. Alexander-Arnold scoops the ball out the left-hand side, and his fellow fullback Robertson, who scampers to keep it in play down by the corner flag. And here now is Naby Keita. Liverpool dominating possession early on here, as you would probably have expected. Back to Van Dijk just inside Burnley territory. Now Matip wearing gloves, stretches those long limbs and moves into the Burnley half of the field away to our left. Out to Henderson, the right wing position. Chip forward looking for the run of Salah. Out comes Pope and takes the ball cleanly.
It's a great bit of football from Liverpool, one-touch football. Burnley going to have to work really hard to keep them out, as they did there, but it's tough to do for 90 minutes.
Don't forget, coming up later, by the way, big game for West Ham, looking to cement themselves in the top 4 as they travel to Leicester. Leicester in no kind of form, nearest the relegation places than they are to the European spots. We'll have commentary from 4:30 UK time with Kevin Hatchard and David Conley, the former Foxes striker. No goal goals in the 2 o'clock kickoffs. Burnley, Liverpool here at Turf Moor. Newcastle against Aston Villa. Newcastle looking for back-to-back wins in the Premier League. And Tottenham against Wolves. Spurs having lost at home to Southampton in midweek. A real blow to their dreams of a Champions League place under Antonio Conte. Mane turning away from Westwood in the centre of the park and finding Salah down the right. Salah into the feet of Robertson on the edge of the area. Good break this towards Salah at the far post, and he went for the half volley. Couldn't quite make a clean connection, and the ball skips harmlessly behind for a goal kick. But that was a Liverpool attack with real pace and real intensity about it.
It was. That Mane and Salah look sharp, don't they? Definitely no African nations hangover for either of those. Played a lot of football in the last month, but both look really sharp, and it's a great ball from Roberts, just a yard too far in front of Salah.
Goal in the game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We'll bring you commentary of that very quickly. The first goal of the afternoon has gone in. Here at Turf Moor, 5 minutes gone, it's still goalless. As Alexander-Arnold plays a risky clearance out from the back, almost left it short for Fabinho, who was fouled in the end by Weghorst. And here now is Naby Keita. Alexander-Arnold forward to Henderson on the halfway line, trying to play it through the legs of Brownhill. Sean Dyche and Jurgen Klopp, who stands the German with his hands in pockets, bright white trainers on the edge of their respective technical areas.
Both managers that demand a lot from their players, always speaking on the sideline, pushing them, trying to get every decision from the referee. So it should be an interesting one on the sideline today.
Here's Sadio Mane breaking down the left-hand side for Liverpool, trying to put it into a dangerous area inside the penalty box. It was well read by Connor Roberts, the Welsh international. Cleared all the way up to Alisson, decked out all in black. The Liverpool goalkeeper. Burnley fans offering their team plenty of vocal encouragement in these early stages. Matip out to the right and Alexander-Arnold. Burnley having to work very hard off the ball. Already Michael Kite just watching Liverpool play it around at times.
Yeah, they're not looking to press, but they keep their shape, their two banks of four that Sean Dyche always sticks to. And it's very difficult. I've played in that system under Sean Dyche, and it is very hard when you play the top teams. You lose that centre midfielder that a lot of teams play with three in midfield. So Burnley don't tend to control games, and you look at in the second half of the games, it is very difficult because you get tired.
Get that goal from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium very shortly. Burnley have possession deep inside their own half of the field. Here is Roberts playing on the right hand side of that back four. Summer signing from Stoke. It's chipped forward, and they've got men over here. Alisson has to come out the penalty area and heads it clear, and the loose ball swept away by Van Dijk. I think the flag may have gone up actually belatedly against those trio of Burnley attackers, and this is where a lot of managers don't like the rule where players continued until it reaches a natural conclusion. There could have been a clash there between Alisson and Cornet that would have been unnecessary.
Yeah, it's so difficult, isn't it? Because he's blatantly offside, and you just want the linesman to put his flag up. But in his defence, it's not his job to at that point. He has to wait for VAR, because if Burnley go on and score, he might have been just onside. So it is a frustrating rule, I'll be honest, because there could have quite easily been a head injury there. Thankfully there wasn't.
Let's cross to North London. Tottenham against Wolves. Let's find out which way the goal has gone with Toby Gillis.
Finds Cody. Nevs again might open up and shoot. Needed to be pushed away by the keeper, and a second time comes to Jimenez, and Wolves have the lead inside 6 minutes.
So not the start that Antonio Conte was looking for. Wolverhampton Wanderers don't concede many goals, and they have the lead against Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Here come Liverpool here at Turf Moor. Mane forward to Keita inside the penalty area. It was a tangle of legs, and Keita penalised for a foul on Lennon. Free kick for Burnley inside their own 18-yard box.
It's great tracking back that from Aaron Lennon. We spoke about him playing today, his experience. Robertson's bombing down the left there on the overlap. he actually gets back into Keita, wins his team a foul, and it's really good defending from Lennon.
Do you think that's part of the thinking from Sean Dyche?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. He's looked at both fullbacks for Liverpool, and they're both, they like to bomb on. And I think Lennon's job is to try and stop Robertson getting forward as much as he normally would.
Matip steers the ball towards the halfway line, headed forward by Mead, seized upon immediately by Fabinho, and Firmino rides the tackle of Mead, looks for Mane, half cleared by Tarkowski, and then Robertson with a follow-up effort takes a deflection, and behind for the first Liverpool corner of the afternoon with 10 minutes played, still 0-0.
At the minute, Liverpool are all over Burnley. Just can't get near Liverpool really, and they're causing a lot of problems. And again, Robertson bombing on. Good block from Roberts. Corner to Liverpool now. It's a good start from Liverpool, this.
Liverpool attacking the goal away to our left-hand side. Turf Moor, very old-fashioned stadium in many ways. The rows of cobbled houses on the far side of the ground as it's headed clear inside the penalty area by Brownhill. Alexander-Arnold puts it back into the danger zone. Cleared to Keita inside the centre circle, and he plays it back to Alisson, the goalkeeper. Alisson will try and play the ball out to the right. Salah with the first time lay off for Henderson. Gets it back, Salah, and then into Henderson again. All a bit too intricate there, and volley clear by Brownhill. Picked up now inside the centre circle by Naby Keita. Playing surface soaking wet. Could be a bit hazardous at times for goalkeepers and defenders, but forward players will absolutely love the way it zips across the turf. Keita back to the halfway line, and Van Dijk again, who immediately switches it out to Salah on the right. Little 1-2 between him and Henderson. Salah with a cross into the area. Headed out for, I think, will be a throw in the end. Although Alexander-Arnold, he tried to keep it in play. He's given that throw into Burnley. Didn't really need to do that.
No, he could have let it go out for a throw-in, but I think he's trying to keep it in so he can deliver a cross, and just miscontrols it and goes out for a Burnley throw-in. Burnley be thankful for a couple seconds break from defending.
11 minutes gone. Burnley 0, Liverpool 0. Tottenham behind against Wolves in North London. Newcastle 0, Villa 0. It's all Liverpool in the early exchanges, and you would say it feels like a matter of when and not if they take the lead, as Weghorst is closed down inside his own half by Fabinho. Wout Weghorst, who scored 7 goals for Wolfsburg this season before his £12 million move to Burnley. Dutch international teammate of Virgil van Dijk, who he's up against this afternoon. Van Dijk underneath the long ball upfield. Not sure whether the head or kick it clear. In the end, it was a bit of a nervy one. Burnley have a throw. The ball chipped in towards Cornet. Was he onside? Headed down by Rodriguez. The flag goes up as Peters on the volley lashes his shot wide. Cornet, I think, is just straight beyond the last Liverpool defender.
Better from Burnley though. Quick throw in from Aaron Lennon. Gets the ball down and end up getting the ball into the box. It was offside, but it's better from Burnley.
Burnley 0, Liverpool 0. Naby Keita forward to Firmino, and Keita chips it out to the left hand side. Mane was the intended target, but cushioned back to his goalkeeper by Roberts. Nick Pope plays it long upfield, and it's collected by Van Dijk inside Liverpool territory, away to our right. Poor pass from Fabinho. Throw in for Burnley. Mo Salah his thumb in the air saluting the efforts from Fabinho. Salah making his 250th English career appearance, having captained Egypt to runners-up spot in the African Cup of Nations. Sadio Mane, his Liverpool teammate, coming out on top in that final, leading Senegal to victory on penalties after a 0-0 draw. Mane himself playing his 250th Premier League game here this afternoon. Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota both dropped to the bench by Jurgen Klopp. Just shows the attacking riches that Liverpool Liverpool now have at their fingertips. Here is Lennon. Looking for Rodriguez, who flicks it on nicely. Weghorst down the right-hand side now. He's got Van Dijk for company, so comes infield to Westwood. And Weghorst finding Brownhill on the edge of the area. He's going to shoot right-footed towards the corner. And that needed saving from Alisson. He watched it all the way. But in the wet conditions, took no chances. Turns it behind for a corner. And he was fully 30 yards out. Josh Brownhill, but he's worked the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's a good strike. It's definitely moving, wasn't it, in the wind? Alisson would be disappointed if he didn't save it, but it's a good strike. And it's a corner now for Burnley, this is where you feel that Burnley could score goals. Don't score many goals, but from set pieces they're dangerous.
Never scored in the Premier League. Josh Brownhill, he's had more shots than any other player since the start of last season without finding the net. In comes the in-swinging corner, punched away by Alisson. There was a foul on the goalkeeper, and he takes the free kick short and quickly to Alexander-Arnold in the left-back position momentarily. 15 gone here, 0-0. Liverpool have looked the more likely, but Burnley, Micah, when they've had the opportunity to break forward, have posed a threat themselves.
Yeah, they have. They've sat back, but when they've got the ball, they've looked dangerous. It's been a good start from Weghorst. I think he's looked lively. And as I said, the shot there from Brownhill was a nice shot. So, they're having a go, Burnley, which you'd always expect them to.
Alexander-Arnold playing it forward. It's cleared away by Ben Mee. Matip nods it back to the goalkeeper, Alisson. Liverpool have already scored 60 goals this season. If they continue their current rate, they will finish the campaign on 99. You get the impression they might not have to score too many here this afternoon to pick up the 3 points, given Burnley's profligacy in front of goal. It's been a good contest in these first 16 minutes, despite the fact Liverpool have dominated the ball. Ben Mee nodding it down on the halfway line, and then Brownhill it was trying to steer it into the path of Peters, but it skips out for a Liverpool throw just inside the Burnley half. Sean Dyche soaked to the skin, up on the edge of the technical area, and seems to be worrying the Burnley manager too much. There's been another goal in the game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We'll be heading there very shortly. It's already turning into a pretty dramatic afternoon for Tottenham Hotspur, I can tell you. At the end of a pretty traumatic week with that defeat at home to Southampton. Here at Turf Moor, 0-0 the score with 17 minutes played. Mo Salah robbed the possession on the halfway line, not quite looked up to full speed at the moment. Salah having competed in that AFCON tournament. He's playing on the right-hand side of the Liverpool front three this afternoon as Burnley go long looking for Cornet, and again Alisson has to head it clear on the edge of the area. And here's Aaron Lennon. Crosses back into Cornet. Cornet with a deflected effort, went through the legs of Matip, but it was weak. Easily saved by Alisson.
Yeah, it's a comfortable save, but good sweeping from Alisson. First and foremost, to come out and take it off of Cornet's foot. Burnley causing some problems to Liverpool, going in behind. We know Burnley are a bit direct, but they're spinning it in behind the back four of Liverpool and causing them some problems.
Yeah, not very comfortable opening 18 minutes for the team, second in the Premier League. 12 points behind runaway leaders Manchester City, albeit with games in hand, but they're pretty much going to have to win every game, you feel, Liverpool, between now and the end of the season, if they are to deny Pep Guardiola's men. They have a throw in down by the right corner flag. Alexander-Arnold into Salah. Salah with a left-footed cross, headed away by Mee. Firmino lurking. Keita prods it back towards Van Dijk on the edge of the centre circle, and again he floats a diagonal ball out to the right edge of the box, and Henderson's cross just evading Mane at the far post. And was there a touch there from Connor Roberts?
What a first time cross that is from Henderson. Little setback to him and whips it straight in. Great delivery. I think he actually catches his teammates by surprise. Mane's just on his heels a little bit. It's a great ball in.
It's one of those that the goalkeeper knew he couldn't come for. The defender wasn't really too sure whether to try and make any connection. With Mane lurking, I think in the end it did just go behind for a goal kick. And we can head back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham were a goal down at home to Wolves. They back in it. Whereas the afternoon got worse for Antonio Conte. Let's hear from Toby Gillis.
But my word, it's cleared away only as far as Dendoncker. Semedo, Podence! Tottenham hits the post and back in again! And it's hope for Wolves who double the advantage! And it's Leander Dendoncker!
Tottenham 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. And as it stands, Wolves will only be 3 points behind fourth place West Ham with a game in hand. And Michael Kiteley's a former Molineux man. You will be thoroughly enjoying that scoreline.
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it? I thought it'd be a difficult game for him, but they started again unbelievable. At least one of the old sides are winning today. See if we can get two.
I think you take a point from this one as a former Burnley man, and Wolves winning against Tottenham. They've only conceded Wolves 17 goals all season. The size of the task that faces Tottenham as Matip gives it away cheaply here at Turf Moor. Picked up by Cornet. Oh, he looked to release Rodriguez, and it was a key intervention in the end from Fabinho. Henderson raking pass upfield, aimed in towards Sadio Mane. Burnley win it back and immediately look long. Weghorst plays it back to Brownhill on the halfway line, but had Liverpool players snapping away at his heels. And here comes Robertson down the left-hand side, forward to Mane. Mane left corner of the penalty area, only Salah in support, others joining now, including Keita, who shoots right-footed. That's a good save low to his right by Nick Pope. It came through a very crowded area. He got strong wrists on that, Pope, and it's poked behind for a corner.
Yeah, good move from Liverpool. Nice little cutback from Mane into Keita, and he strikes it so well. And Nick Pope does really well get down to his right hand side and gets a strong right hand on it. Got a corner for Liverpool now.
Their second corner of the game towards the far post. Good header away by Tarkowski, kept alive by Salah, who goes down looking for a penalty. Burnley meanwhile looking to counter attack. And there was a foul there on Westwood, but Rodriguez has found Weghorst. Big chance for Weghorst, but a huge miss. What was he trying to do there, Weghorst? It was a rapid counter-attack. Weghorst put through one-on-one with Alisson, who was off his line quickly. I think he was trying to chip it over the goalkeeper. He got it all wrong, scuffed it tamely wide, and it's cleared by Trent Alexander-Arnold. What a chance for Burnley and their £12 million January signing.
But you won't get a better chance to score your first Premier League goal than this. Great break from Burnley, good defending from the corner, and if Westwood and Rodriguez break really strongly down the left hand side, puts Weghorst in one-on-one with the keeper, and he's just got to slide it in. He tries a little dink to chip it over Alisson. Not enough purchase on it. Poor finish.
What about the incident involving Mo Salah at the other end? Both him and Van Dijk surrounding the referee Martin Atkinson. Nothing doing according to him, so this Burnley corner will be taken. We'll get Michael Kiteley's views on the penalty shout in a moment. Meanwhile, Maxwell Cornet has placed the ball down on this right hand side towards the near post. Not the best ball in, and steered away by Robertson. More of the coming together, Michael, than anything else in the penalty area.
Yeah, it's not a penalty for me, and I think it's obviously rightly been given, not been given. I think Salah probably had a slight feeling that he had a touch on the back of his leg, but there was nothing in it. And from that, Burnley broke very well and should be one up. You can't afford to miss chances like that.
We've reached the midway point of the first half. Still Burnley 0, Liverpool 0. I guess that will be mission one successfully achieved as far as Burnley are concerned, keeping the scoreline level. They've had opportunities as well. Probably that chance for Weghorst, the best of the game so far. One-on-one with Alisson. really just need to put his foot through it and get it on target, and Burnley would be in front.
Yeah, you just feel like he overcomplicated it.
Long throw from Roberts, flicked on the near post. Lennon with a cross into the area and headed behind by Alexander-Arnold. They're having to soak up a bit of Burnley pressure here, Michael.
Yeah, it's been a good few minutes for Burnley. As you said, the message would have been keep it tight for 20 minutes, stay in the game, as they have done, and now they're the team looking like they might take the lead.
Again, the likes of me and Tarkowski summoned forward from the back. Veghorst, 6'6", will be another potential target as Ashley Westwood plays the ball towards the far post. Mee was coming in. Really good header away by Van Dijk. It was a great delivery. It's picked up now inside the centre circle by Connor Roberts, who chips it forward and out for a throw-in down by the right corner flag. 0-0.
Yeah, good defending from Liverpool again.
But they're having to defend at times.
They are, but they're one of the best teams in the world for a reason. Not only are they good going forward, they can defend. The likes of Van Dijk and Matip, and they've been tested early on here, and they're having to defend very well.
Test of character for Liverpool as much as footballing ability. On a terrible afternoon weather-wise, looking to cut that gap on the leaders and the champions Manchester City. Burnley fighting for their lives at the foot of the Premier League. That will be a yellow card, I think, for Jordan Henderson. Late challenge on Peters' first booking of the afternoon, and no real complaints.
No, it's just a poor touch from Henderson, gets away from him a little bit. Peters gets in there and nicks it off him. Slightly late. We'll be going into the ref's book, as you said there, but looks to pick up an injury as well at the same time, Henderson, so...
Well, he's only just back after a couple of matches on the sidelines. Wasn't a great tackle from the Liverpool captain. Definite yellow card. And Henderson now down, receiving treatment. Still Newcastle 0, Villa 0 at St James's Park. 27 minutes played there. Tottenham 2-0 down at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Raul Jimenez early on, and Leander Dendoncker with the second for Wolves. And here at Turf Moor, as Henderson continues to receive treatment. Referee Martin Atkinson waiting to show the yellow card as soon as he's back on his feet. It's Burnley 0, Liverpool 0. And Jurgen Klopp just looking a bit anxious, maybe, Michael Kitely.
Yeah, look, they started really well. First 10 minutes, it was only one team in it, and from that, Burnley have been the better team the last sort of 10-15 minutes. They've been pressing them, getting right in amongst them, and a few corners and a couple of shots that Alisson's made good saves from, and that one chance from Veghorst, you know, that is the glaring chance of the game, isn't it? And Burnley should really be 1-0 up here.
Well, this is Burnley's lowest points tally, 14 after 20 games of any of their previous Premier League campaigns. They're 8 points worse off than they were at this stage last season. It's not looking great for Henderson, though. He's back on his feet. Yellow card shown by Martin Atkinson, but still not moving freely.
No, and this will be a big blow for Liverpool, because he's the type of player that you want in these games. You know, the scrappy games where it is tight and the weather conditions. You know, you want your skipper Henderson to be right in that midfield. So it'll be a big blow for Liverpool if he has to come off here.
He's just shaking his head, Henderson, as he makes his way slowly to the touchline. I think Liverpool might have to make a change. And they've got a big game in the Champions League in midweek. That competition restarting away from home against Inter Milan. Momentarily they're down to 10 as the free kick is played into the area. Chance here for Jay Rodriguez, one-on-one with Alisson, and again he runs it straight into the goalkeeper's gloves. Again, it's a huge let-off for Liverpool.
Has to score again. I think he tries to chip it over Alisson, trying to be too cute. Good save, but just put your foot through it, Rodriguez. It's a great chance, 6-7 yards out.
Well, that's why Burnley are where they are. They've only scored 17 goals in their 20 league games before today. They've had 2 brilliant chances to take the lead against one of the sides going for the title, and they've missed them both. Here is Naby Keita inside the centre circle for Liverpool, who just seem to have retreated into their shell in the last few minutes. They've got a free kick that Keita wants to take quickly, too quickly for the referee, who indicates the ball was moving. And this will give Burnley a chance to get back into their defensive shape.
Yeah, just going back to the chances, a team like Burnley cannot afford to miss chances like that. They don't create many chances in games, but they've created 2 really good chances. Have to score both of them. They could be 2-0 up in this game. They'll be looking back, hopefully not at the end of this game and regretting it, because Liverpool are that type of team that will punish you if they get their chances.
Only Norwich have managed fewer goals this season in the Premier League than Burnley. Henderson, by the way, is back out there trying to run off the injury. Alexander-Arnold with the free kick towards Mane at the far post. He shot straight at Pope, who didn't know too much about the save. And then the rebound effort from Mane put wide. Liverpool's turn to miss a gilt-edged opportunity.
Yeah, it's a good game, this. Really good chance for Mane. Great ball in from Trent Alexander-Arnold. And it just hits Pope more than anything, straight at him. I think if he's in it either side of Pope, he doesn't save it.
Just watching a replay of the chance for Rodriguez, I wonder, well, he wouldn't have been offside because I think the last touch was off Van Dijk. I felt like he was offside when the free kick may have been played in initially, but it's another phase of play. And because the last touch was off a Liverpool man, I think had he have put it past Alisson, the goal would probably have been given. Half an hour gone. Intriguing contest this on Premier League Live. Burnley 0, Liverpool 0. That's a throw in for Liverpool midway inside the Burnley half over on the right wing. Sean Dyche looking for his 150th victory as Burnley manager. Will be the happier of the 2 bosses at this moment in time. A long, long way to go. More than an hour. Van Dijk forward to Henderson. Credit to Burnley, they're not giving Liverpool any time to get the ball down and play. And that's another delicious looking ball. Weghorst in behind Van Dijk, shoots right foot, and he steered this one wide as well. Well, how many more chances do Burnley want?
How many more? Another one-on-one. Burnley don't overcomplicate it. Little ball over the top, and Liverpool all over the place at the back of the minute. Weghorst is through one-on-one, slashes at it and goes wide. All he's got to do is hit the target.
Why has he gone near post when the easiest shot was across the goalkeeper into the far corner? That was such a small part of the goal that he was aiming for. I mean, credit to Matip for closing him down quickly.
Yeah, I think he felt Matip behind him and wanted to take his chance quickly.
You've got to go across the goalkeeper though.
Yeah, and this is the difference. We spoke about it before. 3 good chances for Burnley. How they're not winning this game, I'll never know.
Liverpool having an off day so far. Burnley unable to take full advantage. There's a penalty shout, by the way, in the game at St James's Park. Possible penalty for the home team. I'll keep you updated on that one. Newcastle looking to put distance between them and the likes of Burnley in the bottom 3. This is already shaping up to be a huge Sunday afternoon. The penalty check is over. It's only a free kick for Newcastle. I think, having just seen it on our monitor, the challenge on Joe Willock from Tyrone Mings was just outside the area. The games seem to matter that much more at this stage of the season, Michael.
They do, yeah. 2 massive games at the bottom and the top of the league, but you feel if Newcastle get a win there and Burnley don't pick up anything here, it's going to be a tough order for Burnley to get out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, just the 1 win this season, 1 win in their last 23, going back to last season in the Premier League, and only one of their last 19 home games. They managed to take all 3 points. Turf Moor used to be a fortress, isn't that way anymore, but they will be delighted, I think, with the way they've set about the opening 33 minutes in this one. Still 0-0, but Burnley have had the better opportunities to take the lead. Just really that effort from point blank range from Mane, saved by Nick Pope for Liverpool. Weghorst has missed a couple of great chances for Burnley, so too has Jay Rodriguez. Here's Naby Keita in the sky blue footwear for the visitors. Out to the left and Robertson in space. Salah making a run into the penalty area. Ricochets off a Burnley player, falls for Mane, but quickly stolen away from him and cleared upfield. Then Matip heading it back towards Alisson. Rodriguez closing him down, and Alisson's first touch wasn't the best. In the end, he drops the shoulder. He's still trying to get away from Rodriguez and has to just poke it out for a throw, Alisson.
Can't believe what I'm seeing Alisson do there. Why is he not just booting it out of the pitch? He's trying to take on Rodriguez.
The home fans encouraged. There has been a goal at St James's Park. Newcastle against Aston Villa will be there very shortly. It's another absolute peach of a free kick. That might give you a clue as to which way it's gone. Tarkowski launches it forward for Burnley. Here is Alisson. Difficult afternoon so far for the Liverpool goalkeeper.
Yeah, it has. Look, he's made a couple of good saves. A little bit too confident there, coming out, trying to clear things up for Liverpool.
Here comes Matip down the right hand side. Salah, who's been really on the periphery of the game so far. He's given it away on the halfway line. Burnley coming forward with Peters. Again, they're looking to play on the shoulder. And has he timed his round Weghorst? He's in again. He's round to the keeper. And Alisson makes the save at his feet. I think the flag has gone up in the end. But you can see the game plan. Both Cornet and Weghorst there playing on the shoulder, Michael, of the Liverpool back line. It's making it a really difficult afternoon for Jurgen Klopp's side. Alisson did well in the end.
Yeah, Liverpool playing such a high line, and Burnley, every time they go forward, they look like getting in behind them. Just offside, wasn't far, but just offside. Ended up being another good save from Alisson.
Is that a weakness that Sean Dyche has pinpointed, the fact Liverpool keep such a high line?
It must be, because Sean Dyche is very thorough in what he does. He'll be working on Liverpool's strengths and weaknesses all week leading up to this game. And it must have been a message, certainly in the first half, to get in behind Liverpool's back four. And they've done that so many times today.
9 minutes the first half to play here. Burnley 0, Liverpool 0 at Turf Moor. Burnley with 5 attempts, 3 on target, 6 for Liverpool, 2 on target. A couple of decent saves from Nick Pope. Andy Robertson, the Scotland international, in possession for Liverpool deep inside his own half. Van Dijk with a switch of play out to Alexander-Arnold. Cushions it down neatly on that far touchline. Keita can't find Henderson, but a loose ball falls kindly for Matip. Out to Firmino. Left corner of the penalty area. Roberto Firmino. Into the box he goes. And then trying to tee up, I think, Keita. It's cleared up to the halfway line by Cornet. Still Liverpool have it down their left hand side with Robertson. Henderson's made a good run ahead of him, but he goes short to Firmino. Naby Keita now breaking the lines in towards Mane. Mee defends it well, and then Westwood guides it away from Robertson. Lennon's been upended by Fabinho. Free kick for Burnley, and let's hear how that goal went in at St James's Park. Newcastle against Villa. Tim Long.
It's Trippier. Gets the whistle, steps up, fires it into the wall, through the goalkeeper, and into the back of the net.
It's another absolute beauty of a free kick from Kieran Trippier. Newcastle pulling clear of Burnley, Watford and Norwich. They lead 1-0 against Aston Villa. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2-0 up against Spurs. And here it's still Burnley 0, Liverpool 0. But Burnley have had the better chances. With 8 minutes the first half to play, Nick Pope with a free kick. I think we know where this is going. Long upfield from the England goalkeeper. Matip climbs and heads it clear. Knocked forward by Weghorst. Bit of head tennis inside the Liverpool area. It might come down for Aaron Lennon. Keita got there just ahead of the Burnley wide man. Here is Matip to play it out for the right hand side for Liverpool. Henderson with room to run into on that far touchline. Salah, Mane and Firmino ahead of him. Good cross as well, guided away by Connor Roberts, and in the end Peters digs it forward into the Liverpool half down that left hand side.
Yeah, Liverpool coming back into the game here. Other than the first 10 minutes, it's been all Burnley.
It's been a brilliant game. Contrast of styles, so much at stake for both teams. Decent atmosphere as it always is at Turf Moor. Just what we needed on this Sunday afternoon. Here's Mane. Salah's made a run into the area. Really important intervention by Ben Mee. Watch the cross all the way. Slides and turns it behind for a corner. Otherwise, Mo Salah would have had a tap in from 6 yards out.
Yeah, it's a good block from Ben Mee. As you said, Salah's there waiting for the tap in. Good play from Mane getting down the left-hand channel.
Another corner for Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold slowly comes across to this left-hand side to take it. The camera behind the goal with big spots of rain on it. The rain's still falling. You can see both sets of players soaked to the core. I think there'll be a change of strip at half-time. The wind has just rolled the ball away from the apex, and the left corner flag very low for the ground. It's actually come out of the corner. Alexander-Arnold just trying to readjust it before limbering back up for this corner. I think he was in danger of being hit by the flag. Towards the near post, headed on and turned in by Fabinho from point blank range. Well, he's been amongst the goals of late, Fabinho, and he's come up with another big one there. His fifth in his last 7 games. The corner from Alexander-Arnold helped on the near post. The initial effort kept out by Pope, but Fabinho on hand to gobble up the rebound and make it Burnley 0, Liverpool 1.
Yeah, what a cruel game this has been for Burnley. They've been by far the better team in this first half, and they haven't taken their chances, and now they're 1-0 down from a set play of all things, which Burnley are normally very good at. Fabinho just loses his marker. It looks like it's Tarkowski. No one's picking him up. Pope does well to make the first save and follows it up with a tap in with a second.
It was the initial header as well. Sadio Mane allowed to run free towards the near post, stooping header into the path of Fabinho. Met it well. Brilliant reaction save from Pope to keep out the first one. No chance on the second. And just like that, having survived a trio of scares at one end, Liverpool take the lead at the other. And I guess, in a nutshell, Margaret Kylie, that's why Burnley find themselves bottom of the league.
Oh, exactly. As I said, they've been by far the better team. They've had a load of chances. Should be at least 2-0 up in this game.
Here's Robertson. Out to the right-hand side, and Henderson. Liverpool looking for a second goal in quick succession. Alexander-Arnold with a cross, headed behind by Roberts. It's going to be a corner. I think he wanted a shout from the goalkeeper there to say that he was going to claim it. Nick Pope. Maybe a needlessly conceded set piece.
Just before half-time as well. You know, we've got 4 minutes left. Burnley need to hang on here.
Short corner routine. Robertson floats the ball up towards Van Dijk at the far post. Pope came and missed it. Salah back into the area, blocked by Tarkowski. Salah again just helps it into a dangerous area on the edge of the box, and Alexander-Arnold scoops it forward. That will go behind for a goal kick. So 1-0 here to Liverpool. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2-0 up away from home against Tottenham, and it's Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 0. That's the story of the opening 42 minutes in the 2 o'clock kickoffs this lunchtime. Coming up at 4:30 UK time, Leicester against West Ham United. Another big game in the race for the top 4. And on Tuesday night we've got a rearranged match at Old Trafford. Manchester United, who can't buy a win at the moment, at home to the very much informed Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton themselves on the cusp of the European places. That is on Tuesday night, an 8:15 kick-off with Tom Rennie and Paul Parker. Into the final 3 minutes of the first half here at Turf Moor. Suddenly it's Liverpudlian voices filling the air. That goal from Fabinho, an unlikely source of big goals in recent weeks in many ways, has really changed the whole dynamic of the afternoon. You felt if Burnley were to get anything from this game, they had to score first. They had chances to do so, couldn't convert them, and they are punished for a moment of sloppiness at the other end, defending a set piece, and that will be a real source of frustration for Sean Dyche.
Yeah, it will, and that's the most frustrating thing. It's not like they've been cut open and Liverpool have scored a really well-worked goal. It's from a set play. Nobody picking up Fabinho. Simple.
Here's Robertson attacking down the Liverpool left. Overlapping run by Sadio Mane. Last 2 minutes of the first half here. Keita. An air of confidence now around Liverpool, where at times there's been panic in this first half. Keita forward to Sadio Mane. Henderson with the Robertson rather with the ball back into towards Mane, but Burnley have won it well. And the clearance has found its way to Maxwell Cornet on the edge of the centre circle inside Liverpool territory. Here's Rodriguez. Had to hold it up because Weghorst was offside, and then he gave it away. And Henderson clears upfield, and that's a mistake by Tarkowski. He's let Mane in. Salah ahead of him. Poor ball from Mane. Let off for Burnley. Picked up by Pope.
Yeah, I feel it was a wrong decision from Mane there. Maybe should go on his own. Tries to slip in Salah. It was a delicate pass. Just too much on it.
Van Dijk with a header away for Liverpool, under pressure from Rodriguez with less than 60 seconds of the regulation 45 minutes to play in this first half. Tarkowski switches the ball out for left and Peters. Here's Ben Mee now, the Burnley centre-back. Tarkowski forward, again it's route one ball, this time it goes all the way through for Alisson. He just slows the game down to a walking pace.
The thing is, as well, as a player, Burnley will be going into half-time, losing this game 1-0, thinking, how? We've played so well, we've created chances, and we're losing. And that is so deflating as a player, especially when you're playing the likes of Liverpool. Because you know Liverpool are going to be playing better in the second half. Liverpool haven't been great this first half. Burnley are going to have to pick themselves up at half-time, and Sean Dyche's going to have to pick up his players to get them playing the same in the second half.
Yeah, and you do wonder, energy-wise, how much their first half endeavours will have taken out of Burnley as well. And ultimately, it's been fruitless effort because they trail by a goal to nil, and we have 2 added minutes to play at the end of the first period. To throw in for Burnley that Eric Peters, the Dutch fullback, making his 4th start in succession, will take down by his own corner flag over on that far touchline. Hoisted up in the sky and flicked on by Rodriguez towards Cornet. Fabinho, the Liverpool goalscorer, wins it back, and Van Dijk now will roll it back to Alisson just on the edge of the area. First added minute has already pretty much elapsed. Liverpool looking in control now. Back towards Alisson, their goalkeeper. Now Virgil van Dijk in space on the edge of his own penalty area, but they're not in a hurry really, Liverpool, to get the ball forward, content just to run down the clock at the end of this first period.
Yeah, I think they'll be more than happy to go in leading 1-0. They'll know themselves that they've not been at it, but to be leading this game they'll be over the moon.
Ball is still being played around inside the Liverpool half away to the right. Here is Alexander-Arnold, who does chip it forward over the halfway line. Headed out by Peters for a throw in for the visitors. Midway inside the Burnley half, taken short by Henderson to Salah. And Henderson now coming down the right. Good tackle by Cornet, winning it back in the left back position for Burnley. They're quickly closed down. Liverpool trying to box them in here. In the end it's chipped forward by Peters, and Van Dijk will just be able to siphon it back to Alisson, and that will probably be the last meaningful action of the half. Alisson short to Matip. Here's Alexander-Arnold on the far side. Flick forward by Firmino and collected by Tarkowski, and there is the half-time whistle. Well, it's not been vintage from Liverpool. Burnley with 3 big opportunities to take the lead. Wout Weghorst missing 2 of them, Rodriguez the other. Liverpool with little to show for their attacking efforts before Fabinho, 4 minutes before half-time, pounced from close range after Burnley failed to deal with a corner. Plenty to ponder for both Sean Dyche and Jurgen Klopp. Half-time at Turf Moor. It's rock bottom Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. You are listening to Premier League Live.
From the terraces to the touchline, if you're the ultimate football fan, you need to subscribe to the Game Day podcast from Talk Sport.
Oh yes! He's done it again!
miss the twice-weekly Premier League roundup that brings you big-name guests, in-depth previews and tough tackling analysis from the world's biggest football league.
Oh, what a finish! He's beaten the keeper to it!
Feel the might of the top flight. Subscribe now to the Game Day podcast, available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get bowled over with Following On, the fast-paced cricket podcast from TalkSport that'll hit you for six. It's a pitch-perfect delivery of first-class cricket news.
And that's a beautiful straight drive.
Boasting an impressive strike rate of exclusive big-name guests. And fielding fierce fan reaction.
Oh, that might be out.
Don't get caught out. Subscribe now to the Following On podcast. Available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
They faced bitter prejudice.
What they had to endure was horrific.
They battled injustice.
Basically, they threw the rule book away.
But their talent was inextinguishable. And they rose to become sporting icons that etched their legacy on the history of English football.
What a strike! What a finish!
Coming in from the cold is an exclusive 6-part documentary that chronicles the struggles and the triumphs of black footballers in the English game. Join Jessica Crichton as she uncovers the untold stories and hears firsthand from a host of superstar names, including John Barnes, Viv Anderson, Luther Blissett, Andy Cole, Rachel Yankee, John Fashanu, and many more.
These guys went through it all, and they are true inspiration.
Coming in from the cold, the history of black footballers in the English game. Listen to the full series now, available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tom Rennie here to tell you about a new soccer podcast called Week in the Tackle with me and Brian Dunseth.
That's right, Tom. Well, join us for new episodes every Monday as we argue about all the top soccer stories we think are worth tackling.
Plus, we'll welcome the occasional guest to join in on the debate.
Strong opinions, big stories, no agenda.
Week in the Tackle, available on Mondays from wherever you get your podcasts.
If it's a big story in soccer, we'll tackle it.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the TalkSport hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
Been improving week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the TalkSport hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Premier League Live. What a dramatic Sunday afternoon it's shaping up to be. Here's how it sounded in the 2 o'clock kickoffs and the best of the first half action.
Finds Cody. Neves again might open up and shoot. Needed to be pushed away by the keeper, and a second time comes to Jimenez. And Wolves have the lead inside 6 minutes. My word, it's cleared away only as far as Dendoncker. Semedo for Dents. Tottenham hits the post and back in again. And it's home for Wolves who double the advantage. And it's Leander Dendoncker.
Rodriguez has found Weghorst. Big chance for Weghorst, but a huge miss. Weghorst put through one-on-one with Allison, who was off his line quickly. I think he was trying to chip it over the goalkeeper. He got it all wrong, scuffed it totally wide. Free kick is played into the area. Chance here for Jay Rodriguez, one-on-one with Allison. And again, he runs it straight into the goalkeeper's gloves. Again, it's a huge let-off for Liverpool.
Just put your foot through it, Rodriguez. It's a great chance. 6-7 yards out.
Well, that's why Burnley are where they are.
It's Trippier. Gets the whistle, steps up, fires it into the wall, through the goalkeeper, and into the back of the net. The new Newcastle lead against Aston Villa by a goal to nil.
Towards the near post, headed on and turned in by Fabinho from point blank range. Well, he's been amongst the goals of late, Fabinho, and he's come up with another big one there. His 5th in his last 7 games. So half time then. Up and down the country, Newcastle leading Aston Villa by a goal to nil. Kieran Trippier, I should say, with another belter of a free kick from outside the penalty area. Tottenham at 2-0 down at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Raul Jimenez and Leander Dendoncker with the goals. And Burnley maybe harshly nil. Liverpool 1 is the score. Fabinho towards the end of the first half, after Burnley, as you heard there, have missed some big big chances. You were just saying, Michael Kiteley off air, what a good signing Kieran Trippier, your former Burnley teammate, has been for Newcastle. If they can make it back-to-back wins, it would be a brilliant week, wouldn't it, for Eddie Howe and his coaching staff?
It would, and for me, he's been the signing of the transfer window, January transfer window. What a signing for the amount of money that they paid for him. I can't believe that, one of the top four didn't come, United especially. And he's got 2 goals now for Newcastle. Not just his quality, but his defending, the way he is around the place. Obviously, he's gone to Atletico Madrid and won the league. Top player, really good signing, and he's causing all sorts of problems for Burnley, isn't he, now, with his free kicks that he scored.
And a good afternoon so far for your former club, Wolverhampton Wanderers. If they were to see that out, and their defensive record suggests they will, 2-0 up against Tottenham away from home, they would only be 3 points off the top 4 with a game in hand over the likes of Manchester United and West Ham.
Yeah, it would be a fantastic result for Wolves. They've been really good this season, Wolves. Slipped up in the week against Arsenal. To go to Spurs and be 2-0 up at half-time, and he must be playing very well, and it's great to see. And as you said, they've got a game in hand, so they're still in this fight for 4th place.
Just looking at the half-time statistics in the game that we've been watching, Liverpool dominant in terms of possession, no real surprise there. 5 shots on goal for Burnley, 9 for Liverpool, but 3 on target for the Clarets, 4 for the Reds. Corner count is pretty much even. It's those opportunities, isn't it, the 2 one-on-ones for Weghorst and for Jay Rodriguez that probably now will come back and haunt Burnley.
Yeah, look, you don't expect Burnley to have all the possession. You know how Burnley play, they're very direct, but they've had 3 really good chances, and even if they take one of those, and as you said in commentary, the first goal in any game of football is huge, but I feel for Burnley it's even bigger because they don't score many goals, and they're normally good at the back, so if they get the first goal they can hang on sometimes, and how they haven't got a goal in this game I'll never know. And the cruel game of football bites them in their bum, and Liverpool go down the other end and score from a set play, which I think Sean Dyche will be fuming about.
Yeah, Keith in Miami has tweeted at TalkSport Live, and he hits the nail on the head, really. Please win this, Burnley. Nothing is more fun than watching Klopp squirm, and he was squirming for much of that first half. We've got Onyubu Nesta in Nigeria says Burnley 0, Liverpool 3. Well, that prediction at the moment is still very much on at TalkSport Live. Do let us know where in the world you are listening. And when we're finished at Turf Moor, we've got another big game in terms of the race for the top 4. Leicester in no form at all. They host West Ham at the King Power Stadium. Kevin Hatchard and David Connolly will be your commentary team for that one. Let's hear from the West Ham manager, David Moyes. A lot of speculation about Declan Rice and maybe a possible big money move for him this summer. But Moyes is adamant that West Ham's ambitions are in line with that of the England midfielder.
No, we want to be in the Champions League, so to win the Champions League the first thing we've got to do is qualify for it. We want to be challenging the teams at the top, which hopefully for 2 years I've been saying we want to challenge. We've got closer with being in European football. We're now getting ourselves in a position where we're giving the top teams a game. What we're trying to do is continue building on it. Declan's a big part of it, really important player to us, and we want to try and fulfil those ambitions.
David Moyes there speaking about the future of West Ham midfielder Declan Rice. I would be surprised, Michael Kiteley, if he doesn't move on this summer. Do you agree?
Yeah, look, West Ham's a big club and a great club, one that I really am fond of, being a Southerner myself. But if Declan Rice wants to go on and win things, as I'm sure he does, he's going to have to move, unfortunately. I know West Ham fans won't like that, but he will. And for me, he gets in any team in the Premier League. He goes straight into City's team, straight into Liverpool's team. He's a top player, and I think they'll do very well to keep hold of him.
£100 million, will that be the type of fee that West Ham will be looking for?
Yeah, probably. It's a lot of money, but it's the going rate, isn't it, for a top player at the minute, and I feel he's got everything. And if he went, as I said, into Liverpool or into City, he would make them a better team than what they are now, so they're going to have to pay big money for him.
Well, no doubt Declan Rice will be the first name on the team sheet when West Ham travel to Leicester this afternoon. We will have the team news from there in around about half an hour's time. Still to come, though, the second half of Burnley against Liverpool. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. No surprise, perhaps, in the scoreline, but Burnley did have big chances in that first half. Can they go it again in the second and actually convert them. If they do, it could be a fascinating 45 minutes ahead. Goals as they go in as well from the second half of the games involving Newcastle 1-0 up at home to Aston Villa, and Tottenham 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. Stay with us. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
Been improving week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Talk Sport. 20 years old and still not able to make a cup of tea.
That's a great starting point, I think. Excuse me.
With bitter experience comes great responsibility.
Let's go to Cumbria and Fraser. Fraser, good morning. Hello. Fraser, get out of that lane.
The nation's first and best commercial sports radio station.
Live, lubricated and legendary.
20 years of Talk Sport. Previously on White and Jordan.
This is rewarding mediocrity. No. It's not. It's the exact opposite.
Two towering giants of sports media.
He's got COVID-19. He's got Newcastle wanting to sue him. He's got broadcasters pulling money out of deals left, right, centre. You wouldn't want to fly with this guy, would you?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Double trouble, daily drama and searing debate.
Continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, Titanium Plasmatronic Death Droids from the Future 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport. Previously on White and Jordan.
If you haven't bought, owned, managed, sold a player, managed a football club, sat in a boardroom, sat in a dressing room, what exactly do you know?
100% engagement.
The Football League is a league which is a busted flush.
You're obsessed with that subject. You do know that.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. High Octane Radio. Continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
The Women's Football Weekly Podcast.
With Faye Carruthers. All the action, excitement and drama from across the entire women's game.
Clean off the line by Steph Horton.
Including the Women's Super League.
And the fight is there to tap it in.
The UEFA Women's Champions League.
Lorna Clellan striking from outside the penalty area.
And the Euro 2021 qualifiers.
Here to the area to Emsley. And Emsley's going to finish it off.
Plus, all the home nations' international friendlies.
Lucy Bronze with the strike from the edge of the penalty area.
World-beating big match conversation.
There's Jodie Taylor.
Subscribe now to the Women's Football Weekly Podcast on Acast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Burnley against Liverpool from Turf Moor. I'm your host, Alex Crook. Alongside me, the former Burnley winger, Michael Kitely. This is Premier League Live. We're at half-time. It's Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Liverpool unbeaten in their last 103 Premier League matches when they are in front at the interval. Michael Kitely, how can Burnley end that run?
Well, I think they've got to try and perform the same way they did in the first half. You know, they caused Liverpool some problems getting in behind Liverpool's back four and created three really good chances, and they need to try and do that again in the second half, but this time take them, obviously. And you'd expect Liverpool to be better in the second half. You know, they started well, first 10 minutes, then it was all Burnley.
Well, the Burnley players racing back out onto the pitch from that blue canvas tunnel over on the far left-hand side of the stadium. The rain still falling at Turf Moor. Burnley with it all to do in the second half. They did have good goal scoring opportunities in the first half, two of them falling to Wout Weghorst. He couldn't take them, and nor could Jay Rodriguez one-on-one with Alisson. Fabinho with a goal 4 minutes before the interval after Sadio Mane had stooped to flick on a corner. Fabinho pouncing at the second time of asking after Nick Pope had made a good save initially, and the Liverpool players are now back out as well. It doesn't look as if either manager will go to their bench at half time, so Burnley will continue with Pope in goal. Roberts, Tarkowski, Mee and Peters in defence. Lennon, Brownhill, Westwood and Cornet making up the midfield, with Weghorst and Rodriguez up front, with Liverpool, Alisson the goalkeeper, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson in defence. Fabinho the goal scorer, Keita and Henderson, who's been booked in midfield, with Mane, Firmino and Salah up front. Although Mo Salah, Michael Kiley, hasn't really been able to make too much of an imprint so far.
No, he hasn't. He started the game well, but to be fair, Burnley worked their socks off in the first half, got a lot of men behind the ball, and they kept him quiet. You know, their goals come from a set piece. Burnley haven't been cut open by any sort of real good play from Liverpool. And that's the worrying thing, isn't it? And that's what Burnley will be looking to do second half, try and keep it tight again and try and get back into this game.
We are back off and underway. Liverpool in the cream jerseys, black shorts and cream socks, shooting from left to right. Burnley in their claret shirts with the sky blue sleeves, blue shorts and blue socks, attacking the goal away to our left. Liverpool, as it stands, will be 9 points behind Manchester City with a game in hand. Burnley 7 points adrift of safety, albeit having played a couple of games fewer than Newcastle, who lead at half-time at home to Aston Villa by a goal to nil. It's Tottenham nil, Wolves 2. And coming up later, Leicester against West Ham. That game gets underway in around about 85 minutes' time. You'll hear it all here on Premier League Live. Van Dijk has shown a bit too much of that to Weghorst on the edge of the area. In the end, just hassled him enough to win it back, and then it's launched long upfield by Liverpool, headed down by Mee, collected by Firmino inside the centre circle, and here comes Jordan Henderson towards the area, fouled by Cornet. So a free kick within range for Liverpool. Clumsy from Maxwell Cornet.
Yeah, it was. Henderson's not really going anywhere. 3 or 4 players around him, and Cornet just gives him a nudge in the back, which I think Henderson was quite happy with, to buy his team a foul in a dangerous position now for Liverpool.
2 minutes gone in the second half. Chance for either Robertson or Alexander-Arnold, both equally adroit from set-piece situations to play it into the area. Nick Pope putting his right arm up in the air. Free kick will be played in probably by Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's got 15 assists this season from fullback. Up comes Van Dijk and Matip. So plenty of attacking quality for Liverpool. It is Alexander-Arnold towards Van Dijk, glanced away off the head of Rodriguez, and Matip keeps it in play over on that far left touchline. Keita with a back heel to Matip. Now Robertson back at his usual left back spot. Can't keep the ball in play, and Burnley have a throw. Defended that well.
Yes, they did. I was unsure whether there was going to be a shot from Robertson or Trent Alexander-Arnold, but it was a cross, and well defended by Burnley, as you would expect them from set pieces, and that's why I think Sean Dyche will be so disappointed with the goal that they conceded. Free header, or free chance for Fabinho from a corner.
He left Sadio Mane free initially inside the penalty area. Alexander-Arnold trying to play it forward. Claims of handball against Peters. I think in the end referee Martin Atkinson content just a signal for a throw. Liverpool have only lost 2 of their last 19 Premier League away games. They've already scored more away goals this season than in any of their previous 20 Premier League campaigns. Here's Connor Roberts, though, making a forward drive towards the area. Can't quite find Weghorst. Cleared away by Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool. Robertson comes now down the left into Sadio Mane. Good challenge by Brownhill on the slide. Westwood forward to Weghorst, who has been a good target man for Burnley, despite those missed opportunities in the first half. Ball over the head of Lennon, and Van Dijk calls upon Alisson to come out to the edge of the area and collect for Liverpool.
He's done that well, Alisson, hasn't he? He's been on his toes a couple of times in the first half, come out and sort of sweeps it up for Liverpool. Burnley have looked dangerous running in behind Liverpool's back line. Alisson's always been there, though.
think Allison is just suggesting to Martin Atkinson the ball is flat. It's like a replacement of the yellow winter ball has been thrown on. Minor delay here. As the fourth official prepares to throw on another ball. Not happy with either of the two balls at his disposal there, Allison. Suggesting the third one is okay. Don't expect to see that in the Premier League, do you? All the money swirling around the division.
No, you don't.
Nice. Good ball forward by Allison, just skipped away from Salah, who was bearing down on Nick Pope. Pope out to the edge of the area to collect the ball in his gloves. He plays it forward into the Liverpool half, flicked on by Weghorst. Cornet inside the area. Fabinho, the goal scorer, quickly closing the door, and Burnley have a corner.
That's why Fabinho's vital in this Liverpool team. Burnley getting behind, and he comes from midfield, deep midfield, to block the cross from Cornet.
Yeah, he's a bit of an unsung hero, isn't he, Fabinho?
Absolutely.
Chipping in with goals now, as well, as I mentioned, after he scored the opener. Liverpool still leading by a 0-0 here with 6 minutes played in the second half. Corner to be taken by Cornet for Burnley from the left, and in towards Ben Mee. That's a free header from 8 yards, and he couldn't get it on target. That's another good chance for Burnley.
Yeah, it's a great ball in from Cornet, outswinger, and as you said, it's a free header from Ben Mee. Expect him to do better there. Heads it a good few yards wide.
Well, they've had enough opportunities, Burnley, to at least get themselves on the score sheet this afternoon. I guess it will give them confidence for the games to come. Just looking at their upcoming fixtures. They go to Brighton next Saturday. That won't be easy. The form that Graham Potter's side are in. And it's Tottenham at home, and a trip to Crystal Palace before the end of February. Leicester at home, Chelsea at home, Brentford away, and Southampton at home. They've still got to play Manchester City, still got to play West Ham. But they do in April have a trip to Norwich, a home game against Wolves, and a trip to Burnley, and a trip to Watford, all down amongst them. Still plenty of games to go, Michael, but only one win all season. That's the lowest of any team in professional football in England.
Yeah, exactly. There's loads of points to be played for. They've got games in hand, as you said, but you've reeled off some fixtures there, and they're tough games that they've got, and they need to start picking up points. One win is not enough for this stage of the season. They need to start picking up some wins. I know they've had a few draws. They need to start picking some wins up and taking their chances, as they haven't today.
It's very coarse, that. Still in it at 1-0 down, Burnley. Liverpool would have get a second, you feel it would be all over. Lennon with a cross, dangerous one into the area. Alexander-Arnold, I think, maybe just got the faintest of touches, and that's why Burnley are claiming for a throw on this near side. It was another good ball by Lennon. And Burnley do win the throw. Peters will take it. Level with the penalty area on this near touchline. Given back to him by Brownhill. I think Corner gives it away to Salah. It's not the scenario you really want. Here's Robertson over the halfway line for Liverpool, who could have countered but just slowed it down. Robertson. It's all about game management now for Liverpool, leading 1-0 with 9 minutes played in the second half. Alexander-Arnold forward to Firmino. They've got the likes of Luis Diaz and Jota still to come off the bench, Liverpool.
And that's why I say the first goal in any game is so huge, because Liverpool haven't got to force things now. They're 1-0 up. Andy Robertson could have played the ball, but he decided to keep the ball because he hasn't got to force it.
He's very coarse, trying to stretch Alexander-Arnold, looking for support in the centre. It's a bit slow in arriving. Shot from Brownhill takes a deflection off Henderson and loops tamely in the end into the arms of Allison. Hasn't been afraid to shoot from distance today, Brownhill. Another one that was on target to add to his collection as Henderson tries to free Salah down the centre for Liverpool, intercepted by Ben Mee, and here is Tarkowski now, plays it out to the right but away from Connor Robertson. Liverpool will have a throw now. Real
frustration from the Burnley crowd there as well, which you don't
Sloppy, wasn't it?
It was sloppy, but Burnley fans only get right behind you at Turf Moor, and you can see that they're frustrated with a couple of decisions there from Tarkowski.
So still 1-0 here. Newcastle leading Aston Villa by the same scoreline. Tottenham 0, Wolves 2. All those games got underway at 2 o'clock UK time. We'll have the team sheets from West Ham's trip to Leicester very shortly. Kevin Hatchard and David Conley standing by for that one. At the end of a busy weekend, a weekend in which Manchester United have dropped more points in their pursuit of a top 4 finish, held at home by Southampton. Manchester City putting 4 past Norwich to extend their lead at the top of the table. Liverpool looking to cut that gap. Big win for Everton at home to Leeds United. Watford looking in real bother despite the arrival of Roy Hodgson. They went down at home to Brighton, and Brentford and Palace fighting out a 0-0 draw. A good point when you look at the way it's going for Brentford in terms of keeping daylight between them and the bottom 3. Here's Fabinho, the Liverpool goal scorer, forward to the chest of Henderson, out to the right and Salah. Alexander-Arnold with the floated diagonal ball looking for Robertson. In the end it's headed up and away by Connor Roberts, and then a foul by Naby Keita, and Burnley have a free kick midway inside their own half.
Game's just got a little bit scrappy. Both teams going a bit too long. No one really getting a hold of the ball.
I'm not sure whose hands that plays into, really. As a foul again is given away this time by Sadio Mane on Roberts, the fullback.
I think Burnley do that to you. You know, when you go to Turf Moor, certainly in my time there, Sean Dyche wanted to make it uncomfortable for the opposition, and you sort of get sucked into playing the same way that Burnley do, even though that Liverpool are a better side. It's what they do. It's how they sort of set up and they play their games. Very difficult to play against.
They have drawn 11 games this season, Burnley. Only Brighton with 12 draws have had more. As Pope finds Tarkowski with a free kick. Good defending by Matip on this occasion. And it's cleared from the right back position by Henderson looking for Salah. Steps in to head it back towards the Liverpool area, but collected by Robertson. Then Mane dispossessed by the hard-working Lennon. Back to Robertson, the right back position again for Burnley. Goes long. Rodriguez up against Van Dijk. 2 former Southampton teammates, and Van Dijk, imperious as always, clears into touch for a throw. Actually, he's claiming the last nick of the ball was off Rodriguez, who shakes his head. Looks like the officials have agreed with Virgil van Dijk. 58 gone, Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Burnley do have the throw in, so I'm not sure what Rodriguez was appealing for. Connor Roberts just dusting the ball down on his sodden jersey, and will go right to the advertising hoardings to try and get maximum leverage on this throw. Rodriguez flicks it towards the 6-yard box. Weghorst there, but Naby Keita volleys it clear for Liverpool. It's out for a throw in right in front of the Burnley boss Sean Dyche, over on that right side as we look. Appealing for handball potentially there, Michael.
Yeah, just looking at it again on the screen there. I think he hits Keita on the chest.
We're going to see a change here. It's a Liverpool alteration. Jordan Henderson, who did pick up that knock towards the back end of the first half, is making way after 59 minutes on his comeback from injury. And it will be Thiago Alcantara to come on.
He hasn't looked comfortable, has he, Henderson, since he got that knock in the first half. Klopp bringing on Thiago now. You'd expect Thiago to try and get on the ball and try and make Liverpool play a little bit better.
Well, I don't think Jurgen Klopp will be delighted with the performance from his side, but they did take all 3 points. I think he'll be pleased with their character. Salah trying to take on Peters, who stood to the task there, Peters, and here's Cornet, knocks it away from Fabinho. Chance for Burnley to counter here. Both Weghorst and Rodriguez in the centre. The ball was poor from Cornet, too close to the goalkeeper, Alisson.
It's a good run from Cornet, just that final delivery, isn't it?
It's not quite been his day so far, is it? Here comes Firmino at the other end, looking for Mane in the centre. Cleared away by Tarkowski. Still 1-0. This game's still on the knife edge. Burnley having missed some good chances in the first half. Most notably, 2 from Wout Weghorst, and Rodriguez one-on-one with Alisson as well. Couldn't take advantage. And it's the Liverpool fans who are singing loudest inside Turf Moor at the moment. Do you think they can catch Manchester City?
No, I think City are too good.
Here's Salah at the other end, couldn't bring it under control, and Nick Pope there to collect for Burnley.
I think with Liverpool as well, they're probably one game away from being out of it, aren't they? If they lose one, I feel like it's going to be too much ground to make up. It'll be very difficult for them to go unbeaten from now till the end of the season.
Naby Keita dispossessed by Lennon, who I think has had an excellent game on that right hand side for Burnley. Here is Westwood now over the halfway line for the Clarets. Poor touch by Weghorst, and out for a Liverpool throw. Half an hour to play. At the moment, Liverpool looking, despite their slender advantage, looking in relative control.
Yeah, you would say that. It's sort of died down the game, hasn't it? Burnley probably looking to make a substitution here.
Well, Dwight McNeil is going to come on for the final 29 minutes, and Jay Rodriguez is the player making way. Maybe a change of system from Sean Dyche?
I very much doubt it. Knowing him as I do, I think it'd be Cornet going up front and McNeil coming out wide.
Yeah, looks like that is the case. So it's a little and large combination now for Burnley. 6'6" Wout Weghorst, and now 4'2" Maxwell Cornet alongside him. Not quite that short. Probably about your height.
Yeah, nearly 6 foot then.
Here's Peters down the line to McNeil. Maybe we'll have a point to prove, having been left out the starting lineup, and he's running at Alexander-Arnold, but dispossessed by Thiago. Alexander-Arnold forward to Firmino, and then Salah upended by Peters, who might be fortunate to escape a booking there.
Just
Salah
back,
frustrated.
Just going back to that comment you said about Sean Dyche maybe changing the system, I think that's the one question mark I have about him. He doesn't ever change the system, and even if it's not working, he just sticks to what he knows. And is that a positive or a negative? You know, I think sometimes you got to change the way you play, and he doesn't like to do that.
Is there a danger as well of a manager staying somewhere too long? Players in the dressing room maybe getting a bit bored of the same voice, the same instruction. Maybe training becomes a bit monotonous as well.
Yeah, maybe. You know, I was surprised when he sort of got linked with the Everton job a couple of years ago. He didn't go, if I'm honest.
It's going to be a big job next season, whatever division Burnley are in. At the moment, it will be the Championship, you feel. Here's Weghorst. Edge of the area, shoots right-footed, straight into the arms of Alisson. And you wonder if Sean Dyche will want the challenge, or if he might want the change of scenery come the summer.
Yeah, that's the question. And especially with the new owners that come in, you thought, right, okay, are they going to back Sean Dyche now in the transfer market and, you know, really have a go at spending some money? And they haven't done that.
They promised to, didn't they?
They did. And let's be honest, they haven't spent hardly anything. And I don't think you can stay in this division not spending and improving year in, year out.
Here's Thiago on the edge of the Burnley area, looking for Salah, getting crowded out a bit by Peters. Thiago keeps it alive. Salah into Alexander-Arnold with a back heel. Tried to drive it across the 6-yard box, had Mane at the far post, couldn't find him.
Good play from Thiago.
Here's Cornet breaking at the other end. If Burnley are to get back into the game, you feel he may have a say in it. Possible equaliser in the game at St James's Park. There is a VAR check, quite a lengthy one going on. Newcastle 1-0 up at half-time, courtesy of a Trippier free kick. Aston Villa waiting to see if they are back on level terms. We'll find out very shortly. Here's Weghorst bulldozing his way into the area, but he's got no support in terms of a claret shirt. Goes to the byline, tries to cut the cross back, and it's cleared away by Van Dijk. needed to get bodies in around him there, Burnley.
Yeah, he's working tirelessly. And of course, there's not much support around him.
Nick Pope has the ball on the edge of the Burnley area. Burnley attacking the Jimmy McElroy stand away to our left. Trailing by a goal to nil with 65 on the clock. Home fans still trying to urge their team on. Peters chipping the ball into the area. Not a great header away by Matip, and McNeil's touch was poor, and Thiago does stab it away, and here's Keita. Hurdles the challenge from McNeil and releases Salah down the right hand side. Salah into the area. Cross cannons off Tarkowski and out for a corner. That goal has been disallowed for offside. Ollie Watkins thought he'd equalised for Newcastle. They still lead 1-0. Some crucial games at both ends of the table this afternoon, not least here at Turf Moor. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Corner for Liverpool. A second goal and it really would be game over. Matip and Van Dijk have come forward from the back. Matip in conversation with the referee Martin Atkinson. Atkinson's got a smile on his face. Matip a bit more animated as Alexander-Arnold puts the ball down and prepares to take the corner. Bit of jostling inside the area. Good header away by Tarkowski. Here's Thiago though, just outside the box. Ball back in, blocked by Weghorst. Thiago recycles possession back to Robertson inside the centre circle, and he chips it out to the right, and Alexander-Arnold, who's offside. Free kick for Burnley in the left back position with 23 minutes to play.
You feel that Liverpool will be dangerous on the counter. Burnley are going to have to try and get back into this game. Looks like Diego Jota's coming on now, which would be very dangerous on the counter attack.
Yeah, Jota, maybe a surprise omission from the starting lineup, having really filled the void left by Sadio Mane. He's replacing Mo Salah during the African Cup of Nations. 5 goals in his last 4 appearances. He's on now for the final 23 minutes. Liverpool fans paying homage to the Portuguese. Such a clever player, Diogo Jota. What did you make of Sadio Mane's performance, Michael Kitely?
Yeah, he looked a little bit tired, didn't he? Him and Salah have done. I'm surprised they both started together, if I'm honest. But we might just give them a little bit more time. Play one of them and play Jota alongside Firmino.
Or Diaz.
Yeah.
Firmino plays it forward to Keita. Here is Salah. I wonder if he might be the next Liverpool change, having gone deep into the tournament. The Egyptian captain.
It's not just physically, you know, when you go and play a tournament like that, it's not just physically you get tired, it's mentally, you know. It does take its toll on you.
Lovely cushion ball down from Robertson inside the area into Jota, who's involved straight away. Good cross by Robertson and headed over by Firmino. 7 yards out. Needed to at least work Nick Pope. He was onside. Firmino, it was a delicious ball whipped in from the left. In the end, it was a finish of a man who's only scored once in his last 15 games.
Yeah, I think he thought he was offside and didn't really want to head it, but I haven't seen it again. But it's a good opportunity. Free header from, as you said, 6 yards out.
Pope with the ball forward. Van Dijk heads it towards the halfway line, collected by Peters up from the back, and now McNeil with some room inside the Liverpool half. Tried to chip it over the top of that Liverpool defence. That's been the Burnley play all afternoon. And again, Alisson comes a long way out the area at the end, having been closed down by Cornet. Knocks it back in the box and collects in his bright white gloves. Is he just trying to keep himself interested, Alisson? Keep himself alert with some of the things that he does?
It looks that way, doesn't it? First half was unbelievable. He's trying to take players on.
Here's Lennon down the right for Burnley. Inside the Liverpool half. Finds Tarkowski, who again tries to chip the ball over the head of Van Dijk. Give a corner. Unruffled Van Dijk as he calmly clears it away and keeps Liverpool in possession as well. Here's Alexander-Arnold now over the halfway line with those socks rolled down to the ankles. Thiago looking for Salah. Peters got to get there ahead of him. And he does that well, actually, Eric Peters, putting his body in between Salah and the ball and ushering it behind for a goal kick.
And this is what I was saying in the first half about Burnley. They work so hard in the formation that they play, and they work so hard to stop the other team scoring that come 60-70 minutes they look tired, and they look like that now. It's all Liverpool controlling the game, and Burnley look tired. And you look at their bench, they've already brought McNeil on. Who really have they got to come on to change the game? Ashley Barnes, and that's it really. And that's where their strength and depth, they struggle.
There is Nick Pope, the Burnley goalkeeper, 10 yards outside his own penalty area. Picked out all in green. Pope headed on by Weghorst towards Cornet, but Matip there ahead of the Ivorian. Matip plays it forward down the right hand side to Alexander-Arnold, challenged by Eric Peters. Out for a Liverpool throw. Team news is in from the King Power Stadium. Leicester against West Ham. Once again, no Jamie Vardy, of course, for the Foxes. So Patson Daka leads the line up front. Tielemans, despite fresh speculation about his future play. So too Harvey Barnes, James Maddison in what looks a attack-minded Leicester 11. James Justin, the right back. Sayuncu, Amate, and Ricardo making up the back four. Dewsbury, Hall and Ndidi in midfield, with Tielemans, Maddison and Barnes in behind Daka. For West Ham United, Fabianski is the goalkeeper. Kurt Zouma starts once again after the controversy surrounding him and that video on social media over the last week or so. Soufal, the right back. Zouma and Dawson in the centre. Cresswell, the left back. Soucek and Rice Holding in midfield. Bowen very much in form, alongside Lanzini and Fornals behind Mikel Antonio up front. 18 minutes to play here. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Commentary from the King Power in the very capable hands of Kevin Hatchard and David Conley to come. Although Kevin Hatchard does think Wout Weghorst might be a 20-goal a season striker. Hasn't shown it in this game.
Wow, that's a statement.
He didn't quite say that. There might be a little bit of creative license from me there. He has had big opportunities today, though, before Liverpool took the lead. Fabinho with a goal 4 minutes before half-time that still separates the sides. And with 17 minutes to play, Michael Kitely, a 1-0 lead is never a secure one.
No, absolutely not. The game's there still to be won. But you just, as I said, you just feel like Burnley just run out of a bit of steam here, and Liverpool are controlling this game. If there's going to be another goal, you would think it's going to come from Liverpool. But the one thing that Burnley do, they never give up. So you never know.
1-1 draw wouldn't really do either team much good in their respective aspirations. Liverpool to try and reel in runaway leaders, the champions Manchester City. Burnley to try and get themselves safe in the Premier League. We've got a delay here because that man Weghorst is down injured. And that would be bad news for Burnley if he had to go off. But it looks like Ashley Barnes has been readied. Weghorst just holding his left knee, Michael Kitely.
Yeah, he looks to be in some pain. To be fair to him, he's worked his socks off. He's hustled and bustled with Van Dijk and Matip. But those two real clear-cut chances in the first half, he has to score at least one of them. And in fact, he doesn't even hit the target with either of them. When you pay, that kind of money for a player, you expect him to be scoring those kind of chances.
Coming on in place of Weghorst is a striker in Ashley Barnes, who hasn't scored in any of his last 15 appearances going back to February of 2021. He did get the only goal when Burnley shocked Liverpool at Anfield, a 1-0 victory a year ago. But that's Burnley's problem, isn't it? The lack of goal scorers in their ranks. Chris Wood sold to Newcastle I think as much an attempt by the Magpies to weaken a relegation rival as to bolster their own forward line.
Absolutely. You feel that it was a very good bit of business from Newcastle. Take away Burnley's top goal scorer from the last few seasons. It's all but relegated Burnley, really, if we're honest.
Do you see no way back for your former club?
Not at the minute, no.
McNeil with the ball into the area, looking for Barnes. Just skip past him under pressure from Virgil van Dijk. Another teasing delivery that Burnley couldn't quite make the most of. 15 to play here. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Throw in for the Clarets, which Roberts over on the far side is about to hoist into the area. Long run up towards the near post. The ball goes in and it's swept away, volleyed away by Robertson. Me with a header back towards that Liverpool area. Now for another Burnley throw. All three of the 2 o'clock kickoffs entering the final stages now. Newcastle still 1-0 up at home to Aston Villa as in comes across towards Cornet. Michael Kitely alongside him was almost trying to head that in. I think it was Barnes again in the centre who couldn't get there, and then the follow-up cross from McNeil turned behind by Matip for a corner. Yes. So 1-0 Newcastle, 2-0 to Wolves away from home against Tottenham, and Burnley a goal behind but have a corner.
It's a great ball in from Roberts from Burnley. Great defensive header from Matip. Cornet was just there to head it home, but just taken off him from Matip. As you said, it's a corner now, dangerous area.
If Burnley are to get back in the game, you feel set pieces are their best outlet. Cornet, that's a poor ball headed away by Keita. And just knocked out of play by Roberts.
Frustrating corner, you know, when they hit the first man.
Happens too often, doesn't it?
It does. Look, I used to take corners and I used to be the first man a fair share of times, but it does frustrate you, it really does, especially when it's not whipped in with pace like that. You know, sometimes when it's whipped in with pace it's harder to get your accuracy right, but there was no pace on the ball there either.
Here is Robertson down the Liverpool left. Looks like a big delay in play at St James's Park between Newcastle and Aston Villa. Salah comes forward, trying to poke it through for Firmino. He clears, and then Alexander-Arnold has hit the ball straight into the face of Peters, who felt the force of that one. It's Brownhill face down on the turf. Might have to be checked for concussion. The ball slammed into his face at point blank range from Alexander-Arnold. Doesn't look great on the replay, Michael.
No, as you said, it's from point blank range. He's up on his feet now, so he looks to be okay.
Brownhill testing Alisson from distance in the first half. Burnley arguably having the better chances to score before Fabinho converted from a corner. And Liverpool have another corner here which Alexander-Arnold will take. So dangerous from set pieces, Liverpool. Towards Van Dijk at the far post, but headed away well by Tarkowski. Here's Naby Keita, puts it back into the area, flicked on by Firmino, and Cornet it is who volleys it clear this time. Barnes should get there ahead of Keita, bit of a mismatch in terms of height, but Thiago mopping up for Liverpool, and here's Firmino in the left wing position, taking on Roberts, the fullback. 11 minutes for Burnley to get an equaliser, or for Liverpool to hold out for the win. It would take them to within 9 points of leaders Manchester City with a game in hand. Talks about Burnley's upcoming fixtures. Liverpool have Norwich at home next Saturday. It should be fairly straightforward. Then Leeds at home, another very winnable game. The next 2 Premier League fixtures. Then West Ham, the visitors to Anfield. A trip to Brighton. What is always a feisty occasion. The visit of Manchester United at the end of March. And I guess all eyes on April the 9th. If they're still within 6 points by the time they go to Manchester City and they can win that game, Liverpool, it could be a brilliant end to the campaign. They won't give up, that's for sure. Here's Thiago, 10 yards inside Burnley territory. The former Bayern Munich man. Fabinho, the goal scorer, out to the left, and Roberts. Here now is Firmino, to take on Henderson. Or Roberts, I should say. Here's Fabinho, over the top for Alexander-Arnold, inside the area, cuts it back towards Jota. Ben Mee facing his own goal, turns it behind for a corner, and the smile on the face of Ben Mee suggests it could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, he's a lucky man. Great run from Trent Alexander-Arnold in behind the back four of Burnley, cuts it back, and Ben Mee sort of has a wild slash at it and nearly puts it into his own bottom corner, just slides out for a corner.
Big chance again for Liverpool to seal the points. Here comes the corner towards the near post and turned wide by Firmino. They've scored more goals, Liverpool, from set pieces and corners in particular this season than any team in the Premier League. Firmino unable to add to the tally. Jurgen Klopp underneath that trademark baseball cap, still patrolling the technical area into the final 10 minutes at Turf Moor. Klopp roaring, asking his team for one last big push here.
I think he knows how important these 3 points will be. Need to get that second goal to make it a little bit more comfortable.
Alexander-Arnold plays it back to Alisson, his goalkeeper, clears it upfield. Alisson, Mee with a header, got there ahead of Firmino, but Matip wins it back only momentarily. Back with Burnley again and with Mee on the halfway line. Now McNeil, he's got Peters bursting forward on the overlap, just overcooked the pass and tamely behind for a goal kick. Dwight McNeil. I mean, no lack of effort or endeavour from Burnley, but just a lack of quality in the final third, Michael.
Yeah, and that's been the case, hasn't it, for the last couple of years, really. You know, effort, as you said, is always up there, as good as anyone in the league. It's just that bit of quality, and certainly in the first half, those 3 chances, have to score at least one of those. They just haven't got that quality. And unfortunately, you pay big money for it. And Burnley haven't spent big money in the last few years. That's all since being in the Premier League, to be honest.
They are in danger, even with games in hand, of being cut adrift in terms of survival. They'll be 7 points behind Newcastle, 8 behind Everton, who had that big win against Leeds yesterday. It looks like an enormous task. They've done it before, Burnley, and pulled off the relegation great escape. Maybe this is one mountain too high. Although Brownhill has found Cornet against Alisson, rounds the goalkeeper and he turns it into the side netting. I think the flag will go up anyway. Once again though, as the offside is confirmed, Burnley unable to put the ball in the net.
Yeah, he was just off. Yeah, he's just offside, but what goalkeeping this is from Alisson. One-on-one Cornet, and he stays on his feet, and Cornet's trying to go round him, hoping that Alisson goes down so he can tap it into an empty net, but he doesn't, Alisson, and it makes it really difficult for Cornet. Sends him that far wide that he misses the target, but it was offside anyway.
They've held their line well today, Liverpool.
They've been a lot better second half, Liverpool, holding their line. First half, Burnley got in a couple of times. Definitely Klopp would have been having a word at half time about that, I think.
7 minutes to play. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Goal from Fabinho. And the final 5 minutes of the first half still divides these teams, separated by 18 places and plenty of points in the Premier League table. That gap in class wasn't always evident in the first half. Burnley had their opportunities, didn't take them, and you sense they would live to regret that. So it's proven. Here's Jota off the bench to add fresh legs to the Liverpool attack in this second 45.
The thing is with Burnley as well, when they make a substitution, it's like the same player is coming on. They don't change the way they play, or they haven't got a striker that's going to go running behind and make it difficult for teams. It's the same type of player that they've got coming on. So that's why they find it really difficult. They have to play play the same way week in, week out.
Robertson into Firmino. Salah and Jota ahead of him. Alexander-Arnold bursting forward. Good challenge by Tarkowski, but only gets the ball clear as far as Thiago on the edge of the area. Trying to slide it forward for Robertson. Again cleared, and Brownhill goes long, but nobody in a claret shirt inside the Liverpool half. Alisson collects it right in the centre of the half and plays it short out to this right hand side to Matip. Liverpool 5 minutes away from another clean sheet, another win away from home. Don't concede many on the road. In fact, 11 of the 13 goals they have conceded on their travels have all come in London, bizarrely, this season. Such a powerful back line, good goalkeeper as well. Burnley have been unable to breach with 5 to play. Raul Jimenez just making his exit for Wolves in their game against Tottenham. They lead 2-0. Jimenez with the opening goal, and Newcastle still a goal up at home to Aston Villa on what feels like a pivotal afternoon in the Premier League. Those bottom 3, Michael Kiteley, as it stands, 4 points. Norwich on 18th behind Newcastle, who've played a game less than the Canaries. It doesn't look great for either Norwich, Watford or Burnley, does it?
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And you feel with Newcastle, with the takeover that they've had, the players that they've signed, there's a real buzz about Newcastle at the minute. And doesn't look good at all for those 3 that you mentioned.
Here's Salah. Doesn't look good for Burnley as Salah tries to get away from Peters. He has got away from Peters, and he's got 2 to his left. One of them's Jota. Jota with a shot wide. Really good challenge by Tarkowski, just to make it that much more difficult as Liverpool threaten to score the second goal.
Yeah, really good counter-attack from Liverpool.
And you'd have bet your life, with the form that Jota is in, that would have been 2-0.
Yeah,
couldn't get it on target.
I'm kind of surprised that Salah's slipped him in, if I'm honest, because he's normally quite selfish in those positions. But he obviously felt that Jota was in a better position, and Tarkowski does so well to get back and put Jota off.
The pass was just slightly undercooked, wasn't it, from Salah? And Jota had to wait for it to come to his stride, and that allowed Tarkowski to come back and make the tackle to put him off.
Yeah, should really be 2-0 there.
Might not be that costly. Jota in the area. Well defended by Roberts, but has to sacrifice a corner. And we move into the final 3 minutes of the 90 here on Premier League Live. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1 at Turf Moor. Liverpool with another set piece opportunity here to double the lead and make the point safe. Robertson delivers it from the left hand side. Roberts dangerously flicks it across his own goal, brought down by Van Dijk. Thiago's cross charged down by Ashley Barnes, and Alisson comes out towards the halfway line to pick up possession for Liverpool. Time running out for Burnley if they're to salvage a point from this one. Thiago chips it back towards the area. Roberts nods it to his goalkeeper Pope. Maybe Burnley can launch a counter-attack here. Pope with a right foot volley upfield. Barnes flicks it on. Van Dijk with a clearance away. Forward it goes by Westwood. Matip with a header this time. On an afternoon when Liverpool have had to dig in at times and grind out a victory in really difficult conditions at Turf Moor. Not got the job done yet, but Neely's offside, so it will be a free kick in the right back position for Liverpool.
Yeah, they've had to dig in, as you said. They've defended well, but second half Burnley haven't caused them any problems really. Had a couple of good chances in the first half. Second half they haven't been able to create a clear-cut chance, and it's been quite comfortable for Liverpool.
It's the 6th time that Burnley have been caught offside over the course of the 89 minutes that have elapsed. Matip with a free kick forward, headed back into the Liverpool half by me, but out for a throw. The visitors in no hurry now, as we await to see how many added minutes there will be at the end of the 90.
The thing about this result, Sean Dyche will look at this and he'll say, look, we're not expected to beat Liverpool. You know, they've given a good account of themselves, should have scored in the first half, but it'll be the other games that they'll be looking to get points from, and he'll try and keep them upbeat to try and stay in this division.
Is this the biggest test of his managerial career, Sean Dyche? Or would it be the biggest achievement if they could pull it off? Yes, I think so, yeah. As I said, not being able to spend much money in recent years, haven't been able to improve the squad. Here's Fabinho, guides it out to the right. Firmino on the edge of the penalty area. Over the head of Salah, and Westwood helps it back to the goalkeeper Pope. We're into 5 added minutes at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 0, Wolves 2. Looks like game over there. We're into the final few seconds before added on time here at Turf Moor. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Still Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 0. On a huge Sunday afternoon, Leicester against West Ham about to come. We're into 3 added minutes. That's all the time that Burnley have got now to get the equalising goal. Matip has asked a lot of Alisson, who comes racing out of his penalty area again. Sweeper keeper clears it forward. Not sure he welcomed the back pass. Here's Thiago for Liverpool. Finds Robertson attacking down the left. Jota now. Game slowed down to a walking pace by the League Cup finalists. And they believe they have Burnley exactly where they want them now, at arm's length. Jota shielding the ball away from Lennon. Finding Fabinho, and here's Jota again. He has been dispossessed this time by Tarkowski and Burnley. Got to get it forward quickly. First of the 3 added minutes has already gone. Here's Cornet, poor control on the edge of the area, collected by Keita. I think he's had an excellent game in midfield, Naby Keita for Liverpool. Here's Firmino over the halfway line. Jota to his left, but Firmino in no real hurry. He's been dispossessed by Brownhill, and a foul by Thiago. A free kick for Burnley right on the edge of the centre circle. This is going to go long towards the Liverpool penalty area, surely. Absolutely. Pope will be sending this straight into Liverpool's box, and you feel that this is probably their only chance really to score. They look like they've run out a bit of steam in open play. If they can get a chance off of this free kick, route 1. James Milner coming on for Liverpool to make his customary substitute appearance. Just to run down the clock, he's on for Naby Keita. Keita gets a big hug from his manager Jurgen Klopp, appreciating his efforts this afternoon. Burnley now in the last of the 3 added minutes. Nick Pope will launch the free kick towards the penalty area away to our left. Ben Mee left it bizarrely. It's out for a throw in. It's a throw in for Liverpool down by their own corner flag. Why didn't they try and get on the end of that, Ben Mee?
That sums up their day, doesn't it? That I think it's a poor free kick from Pope. Ben Mee just let it go over his head.
Last 20 seconds. Burnley have it with McNeil in the left wing position. Needs to get it into the penalty area, but Liverpool working so hard to push Burnley back into their own half. Mee with a crossfield ball flicked on by Tarkowski. The offside flag is up again, and I think, Michael Cartney, that will probably be it.
Yeah, I think it will. As I said, Burnley haven't done enough in the second half. It's offside for sure, and then you'd think that the ref will blow the whistle once this free kick is taken.
Tarkowski just straying beyond the last defender. Still 7 added minutes to play at St James's Park. Newcastle 1, Villa 0. They're into the final minute, the 5 added on at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and the full-time whistle goes at Turf Moor. Well, it was gritty, more than pretty from Liverpool this afternoon, but the gap to the leaders Manchester City is reduced to 9 points. Burnley paying the price for a number of spurned opportunities in the first half. 2 from Weghorst, 1 from Rodriguez as well, when Fabinho tapped him from close range after the Clarets failed to clear a corner. That ultimately proved decisive. Liverpool continuing their impressive recent record on the road. Victory for Jurgen Klopp's side. Burnley remain rock bottom of the Premier League, 7 points now adrift of survival. It is a real mountain for Sean Dyche to climb now. He will take positives from the performance, but ultimately no points again. It's one win in 21 Premier League games. It finishes Burnley 0, Liverpool 1, and let's check in on the final stages at St James's Park. Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 0 into stoppage time. Your commentator there is Tim Long.
Played about 93 minutes, 7 were added. Dan Burn, the gigantic cornerstone, the heart of the Newcastle back line, which has lost Manquillo and Trippier to injury in this game. Seemed Dubravka, the goalkeeper, down hurt as well. Trying to will his team towards a rare clean sheet on his debut for his boyhood club. And even more significantly, towards 3 gigantic points. We're halfway through the 7 added minutes at the end here at St James's. Cross comes in from deep for Aston Villa, but it's too close to the goalkeeper, Dubravka, who grabs it, drops down on it and clings to it for dear life, and he will take as long as he possibly can here as he picks himself back up in the 6-yard box. Kieran Trippier's free kick in the first half, the difference here, fired from the edge of the 18-yard box down the centre of the Villa goal, taking a deflection on its way as Emi Martinez almost dove away from it. Newcastle have defended robustly and resiliently for the vast majority of the second half. Survived a scare when Ollie Watkins thought he'd equalise. That was ruled out for a marginal offside. Here come Villa again. Fraser back there playing it right back, almost clears it away out into touch for an Aston Villa throw halfway inside the Newcastle half. They take it back to Mings, who squares it, and Callum Chambers will look to launch it forward. Across to the far side, Matty Cash takes it down on the sideline, still full of energy. Passes it back to Leon Bailey, the substitute. His pass behind Jacob Ramsey, though. And now Sam Maximan, the one-man counter-attack for Newcastle, can try and bring it clear. He's tripped by Bailey, and that will inevitably be a yellow card for him. And for Aston Villa's improvement in the second half, they've still only had 1 shot on target in the whole game. And it came from a free kick of their own from Douglas Luiz from about 25 yards that was straight down the centre of the goal and comfortably stopped by Dubravka. Steven Gerrard, perhaps resigned to defeat now, is slunched back in his chair in the away side dugout. And this will bring an end to a run of 3 games unbeaten for them. Newcastle looking to stretch their unbeaten run here at St James's over Aston Villa to 13 games, their longest run without defeat against any opponent in the Premier League on their home turf. Sam Maximan twisting and turning, pass 2, pass 3, shot deflected from 18 yards out and gathered up by Emi Martinez. He was marked out of the game in the first half. Sam Maximan has had some excellent moments in the second, as Villa have tried to push forward and have left spaces to exploit, but it remains a slender lead. Newcastle 1, Villa 0, approaching the final minute of 7 added at St James's. Villa have the ball on the edge of the centre circle. Douglas Luiz strides forward halfway inside the Newcastle half. Mings forward like a left winger here. Back in field to Douglas Luiz. Poor pass picked up by Ramsey, though. Shifts it forward to the edge of the D. Danny Ings moving away from goal. Takes it on the turn now towards the box. Here's Digne. Tries to get the cross in. Deflected off Brian Fraser. And a big effort to get there first and head it away. And a free kick won by the new signing Bruno Guimaraes, who had only just come off the bench in added time, and he made up a lot of turf to win the race to the ball, got his head to it first and was wiped out by Jacob Ramsey to allow Newcastle the chance surely now to see this through. And we're right at the end of the 7 additional minutes. Newcastle are very nearly there. Eddie Howe pacing up and down on the edge of his technical area. What a win this would be. What a run it's been for Newcastle. So much improvement. The free kick goes long, straight into touch. And that's a long way from the Newcastle net, though. And as far as Aston Villa are concerned, we're now into the 8th additional minute. They fire it long. Ings trying to take it down. Kraft doing just about enough. Hucked away again. And there is the final whistle. A huge roar across Tyneside from more than 52,000 inside St James's today. Newcastle's new era is here. 5 games unbeaten, 4 points clear of the drop zone. The Magpies are taking off on Tyneside, and surely now the only way is up as they leave 3 troubled teams treading water behind them. They feel like this is a big win. It's a big clean sheet to see it through. And the goal from Kieran Trippier 10 minutes before half-time from a free kick was one of just 2 shots on target in the game for Newcastle, but their defence was resilient and robust as they held Villa to just 1 shot on target all game. And on his debut for his boyhood club, Dan Burn, at the heart of the defence, was crucial to the cause. The final score at St James's Park: Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 0.
What a week for Newcastle and Eddie Howe. Daylight between them and the bottom 3. Not been a good afternoon for Burnley. Rodriguez has found Weghorst. Big chance for Weghorst. A huge miss. Weghorst put through one-on-one with Allison, who was off his line quickly. I think he was trying to chip it over the goalkeeper. He got it all wrong, scuffed it totally wide. Free kick is played into the area. Chance here for Jay Rodriguez, one-on-one with Allison. And again, he runs it straight into the goalkeeper's gloves. Again, it's a huge let-off for Liverpool.
Just put your foot through it, Rodriguez. A great chance. 6-7 yards out.
Well, that's why Burnley are where they are. Here's Salah. Doesn't look good for Burnley as Salah tries to get away from Peters. He has got away from Peters, and he's got 2 to his left. One of them, Jota with a shot wide. Really good challenge by Tarkowski, just to make it that much more difficult as Liverpool threaten to score the second goal.
Tarkowski does so well to get back and put Jota off.
With the form that Jota is in, that would have been 2-0. So ultimately that goal from Fabinho 5 minutes before half-time, enough to give Liverpool the win they need to cut the gap on Manchester City at the top of the table to 9 points. They still have a game in hand and still have to play Pep Guardiola's side, so maybe the title race isn't over yet for Burnley, though. It's looking very difficult now to stay up. 7 points adrift at the foot of the table. It finished here. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1, Newcastle 1-0 victors against Aston Villa. You heard the closing stages of that one. And a bad week for Tottenham. 2-0 down at home to Wolves. That's how it ended. This is Premier League Live.
It's the ultimate fusion of